at the MCG, and it's a game between Collingwood and Melbourne. Let's try and, my gosh, I'll try and fix all this up. I'll try and get that a little bit straight for everybody, not too far away. But it's going to be a fantastic fantastic game, this one tonight, folks. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Let's try and get this a little bit better for everyone out there that can see. We'll straighten that up in a jiffy for everybody. But this is a game tonight, Collingwood, Melbourne versus Collingwood. And of course, both teams trying to won't be a sec, folks, just trying to, there we go, just getting there, just trying to correct a few things so it all happens and works well for everybody out there. There we go. All right, while I'm doing that, let me just try and straighten this up so we've all got a good view of the board, etc. Ah, the joys. Maybe that's, I think, roughly where I want it. We're getting there. All right, I will show you the teams in just a moment. Try and get that a little bit better on the board. That'll do for now. All right, so this is Melbourne versus Collingwood. And of course, if we have a look on the ladder, this is 10th playing 12th. And of course, even if Melbourne win this tonight, they won't be able to make the finals. But of course, Collingwood's there. They still have a slim chance, but they have to win by a big margin tonight if they want to have a chance at playing finals. If they do win, they will go to 52 points like Western Bulldogs, Hawthorn and Carlton. The only issue is with that, folks, their percentage is very low. So they'd probably have to win by 100, 150 points. And of course, one of these teams would have to lose by a big margin as well to try and get them into the game. Let's have a little bit of a look at the lineup of these two teams today. And of course, Melbourne, their ins is Laurie and their out goes Tom Sparrow. The milestone games for Melbourne, of course, Trent Rivers playing his 100th game. Their backline is this: Lever, McDonald, McVee. Their halfbacks, Bowie, Tomlinson and Hall. Their centres are Langdon, Viney, Salim. Their half forwards are Chandler, Pretty, Billings. Full forwards are Pickett, Ruin, Fritz. Followers are Maxi, Gawn, Bullen, Rivers. There's unit changes and the emergencies there. And for the Pies, got a few changes here. We've got coming into the side, we've got Charlie Dean. We've got Edward Allen. Finley McRae's back in, as with Joey Richards. And, of course, going out, Billy Frampton, that is one of the backmen. Jack Bytel, of course, Daniel McStay. He'll be well missed by the Magpies down the out forward. And, of course, Ned Long, their full-backs. Their backline is Dean Moore, Maynard. The half-backs, Elliot Ho, Jeremy Howe, and, of course, Isaac Quainer. And, of course, their centres are side-bottom, Crisp and Josh Dacos. Bobby Hill is a half forward with Lockie Schultz and the ever-flying Jamie Elliott. Of course, the forwards, full forwards, McCreary, Cox and Lipinski. The followers are Cameron, Nick the Champ Dacos, and, of course, the captain, Scotty Pendlebury. There's the interchanges there: Noble, McRae, Richards, Parker and Allen. Of course, you've got the emergencies down there. The odds on today's match, of course, Collingwood going into this game favourite at 166 and the Demons 217. Although it's a home game for Melbourne, it's pretty much the home game for both sides tonight. So there should be no advantage over the game or I should say over the ground for either side tonight. So that's always a good thing. We should be in for a cracking game, and I think we'll probably get a nice, reasonable. I'm just still trying to straighten that up. So it's a little bit straight for everybody out there. It's not too bad. If I bring it that way, that might straighten it up a little bit better. I'll tell you what, the doing this live, you can't actually see this prior going live, so I actually got to do this while we are live, folks. So sorry for any inconvenience there, but that's all right. We will get this up and running soon. I don't think the worm is up and set just yet. That is okay. But this is the game tonight, and of course we are only 7 minutes away from the bounce of the ball into the first quarter. I said this is round 24. This is the final round of the home and away season AFL football here in the land down under in Australia, the main sport we've got here. So we've got some fantastic games on this weekend, and of course we'll be covering about 7 of those games on the channel this weekend. Of course, starting off first, Friday night football here. We've got Melbourne versus Collingwood. Then tomorrow we will cover the game. Should be Hawthorn versus North Melbourne. Oh, it looks like they've actually changed times on a couple of games tomorrow, so that could be interesting. I think Hawthorn or North Melbourne or West Coast and Geelong are the game I'm covering tomorrow. One of those two, I think it's Hawthorn, North Melbourne, and then I think we're going to head over to... Oh, just a minute. Times have changed. All right, so I think it looks like it's going to be Hawthorn, North Melbourne, then over to Richmond, Gold Coast, and then Sydney, Adelaide. We'll round out the games tomorrow. Nicky Young, how you going? Go Blues. Blues are going to go all right, and we'll probably... That's one game I won't be able to... That I will actually cover that game. And the games for Sunday, Western Bulldogs and the GWS Giants is one match, and then the following match on Sunday, Carlton versus St Kilda. Carlton certainly should win that game and secure their spot in the top 8 play finals this year. And of course, Fremantle, Port Adelaide round out the final game of the home and away season, and then we will see where this ladder positions all move around about. There we go. There's your Carlton sitting 8th. They, you know what, they are still a chance if all these teams lose. Although Western Bulldogs play the Giants. One of them will go above. So maybe Carlton can finish 5th. 5th wouldn't probably be too bad, although they won't get the double chance. There's still a chance to play a home final. And I think the one good thing with the Dogs, Hawthorn and Carlton, I would think all their games would quite possibly be at the MCG. You just don't want to go down to the Cattery or up to Brisbane to play that first final, I would think. So there we go. We're only just over 4 minutes away. I think that worm is... Yeah, I've got that worm right. So there's your worm. This will show you during the match who's leading, by what margin, what team's in front, if your worm goes up like that. If it goes up like that, it'll tell you that Melbourne's in front. If it crosses back down there, it'll show you the run that Collingwood's had and they're in front, etc., like that. That's how the worm works, which is pretty good to actually keep track of and keep follow on. But we're only 4 minutes away from the start of the game here. And of course, we'll take you down to the commentators as soon as they come on. We'll take you down there. Listen to a couple of those thoughts before the game starts. But it should be great. Anyway, we are in for one cracker of a game tonight, folks. We are in for one cracker of a game. It should be a good game. As I said, Melbourne can't make the finals. Collingwood have got a slim mathematical chance, although looking like they can't make it. But you know what? They play for pride. They need to finish off their season with some good football, good brand of football, and then they can go into next season on a high and start off this season well next year. So we've got this home and away final round on this week. Then we go into the finals, which will go for about 4 weeks. And I think during that time, I think the AFLW, the women's football, come into play. So if there's any the women's games that are being covered there, I might cover those while we are in the finals of the males. So that should be pretty good. Most of these AFL sides, they've got a female side as well. So, and they play pretty good football. I think their competition has been alive now for about 10 to 12 years. So got a good bit of skill amongst a lot of the players. A lot of the ladies there that play the game of football. And of course, it's a popular sport here in Australia. And it's great to see. Now, the young girls can play football going into the teenagers and into their 20s, etc. like that. Now they've got a chance to play on the big stage. But that's probably a little bit enough from me. I'll take you back down now to the ground with the commentators. I'll just go over a final couple of words until the opening bounce, which is in about 2 minutes' time.
And I thought he just showed good running patterns, very clean, and interested by that report of the offer from Port Adelaide. He'd be really keen to put a good 4 quarters of footy together.
That interests me. 4 years for Joe Richards.
Well, it doesn't have to be big money as such. It might just be an offer of security, and we're going to play him more often than not.
So you're a big fan, yeah?
I think he's got a lot of upside. I mean, as a mature age recruit, he's came in. I'm surprised I'm not sure if it was injury, but I thought he could have found 2 or 3 more games in the back.
And by the way, I'm not saying not. It was just it's a feather in his cap that he can get an AFL club on such a short amount of exposed
all about traits. All about traits.
Go and give you 4 years. Razor Ray, by the way, is umpiring his last game. Let's take a moment here. The little champ, 388 games of footy. It is unbelievable. He's a magnificent representative of the umpiring fraternity. He gets on radio and does a job that should be done every week by a whole host of them. So from all of us at Fox Footy, Ray,
correct.
Well done. Absolutely outstanding. Geordie.
Yeah, no, he's a star. I've gone Alex Neil-Bullen tonight, Gaz. Last game for the club. He's a premiership player, 175 games. Having played alongside him, he's an absolute champion of a bloke and one of those players that will be sorely missed. So he would want to go out with his head held high and a really big performance for this football club.
Do you think that there'll be a special lift from his teammates because of the esteem he's held in?
No doubt. He's probably the most respected player at that football club inside those walls.
I wonder why Dan Houston didn't speak to him about going to Melbourne.
Yeah, well, maybe he's not going to be there.
I've got the ruckman. I've got Big Max and I've got Darcy Cameron. I'm a huge Darcy Cameron fan. I think he's been absolutely sensational what he's been able to do in recent times. So head-to-head against Max, if he's super competitive, then he's going to help him go a long way because Max's form dictates a hell of a lot as to what Melbourne do. So last roll of the dice for Max and probably most certainly for Darcy, and I think they'll both be happy to go out on a high. Yep. So here we go.
Great battle.
What do we reckon? We're going to see this open up. I'm just interested in this. Collingwood have got to win and win big. Are they just going to go whoosh?
Well, I think both teams played with an attacking flair last week, didn't they? So I want to see Melbourne continue in that vein they did against Gold Coast.
We get a shootout, Geordie. Will it just open up that much?
Oh, I think so. You've got to give both teams the licence just to play, especially in the first quarter. Then if things aren't going your way, reassess. But there is Nibble in the middle of the ground. It's Dacos, Salem. I don't think it's a tag. It's just be certainly half back on, half forward.
It's one of those games that just might play out in strange and curious ways, and we'll be right across at the talk all about it. We'll see you at quarter time.
Underway at the MCG. Beautiful bounce. Gone little hand in. Viney went without. Allen was there as well. Off the ground goes Salem. There's going to be a bit of that. Lots of moisture on the ground after some decent rain about an hour before the bounce. Langdon went crashing in and a ball up.
Max, Darcy.
Just inking a new deal with the club. Jack Viney, and that's great news. Dacos works his way through. Brilliant kicking. Finds Pendlebury. Same can be said. Nick Dacos can straighten up. He gets around instead. And probably one of the rare occasions he bit off more than he can chew. And the D's through Fritsch.
Fritsch immediately in the middle, dangerous kick. Neilborn able to protect the body, but the 2-on-1 always going to win out. Elliott, the give and go. Collingwood searching, no ball. Handball to Dacos, difficult one to pick up, made it look easy. Back to Noble now, and now the former skipper, Scott Pendlebury, sends a good ball to the advantage of Hoskin Elliott.
Just great awareness there from Scotty Pendlebury. Didn't rush. Melbourne had a lot of blokes back into the hole. He summed it up well, realised there was space out the back of Hoskin Elliott. It was a perfect kick.
Settles himself in the punt road pocket. Around the corner he's going to go. A little bit early on the spin, is it? No, he still wraps it around. No, just misses. Lever and May haven't had a game where they've had Lever and May missing since 2019, JB. 125 games ago was the last time that happened.
Yeah, real pillars in that premiership year too. That pair of mighty defenders.
Move it on, play on.
What? Cameron had a terrific year. Billings. Melbourne floated to the wing. Van Rooyen coming hard at that contest. Darcy Moore to the back. Howe on the left. Jack Billings parked under it. Difficult one to handle. Schultz just shoveled it forward. Hoare out in the full.
Melbourne home game tonight. Maynard not their favourite man. Cameron has had a very impressive year against the incredible multiple All-Australian in Gawn.
We know how good Nick Dacos is, but early on you've got to find the spares. He's so good with his vision. He's got Bobby Hill, he's got Cox all by himself. Probably tried to do a little bit too much in that case, Joe.
I think he might have been thinking that goal of the week last week.
He was thinking of Brownlow, maybe.
Gawn, little one over the top, Tolstrom. Dribbler, Pickett, so clean and smooth. Now Billings. Jakey Meltram on the wing here.
Outside 5. Play on.
Petty long. Instead of that, he kicks it straight to Darcy Moore. It's broken up in the air. Pickett puts on the Jets and finishes. Superb. Magnificent player to watch, Keziah Pickett. And the veteran steel side bottom was never tracking him down.
I wonder whether this will be the order of the night, whether they'll be free to just punch it out and go as they wish.
I think that does happen in these sort of games. In round 24, BT. Great wheels here from Cozzy Pickett. A good contest from Petty. Got it over the back, and once he's got space like that, Cozzy Pickett, he makes you pay. Got involved twice in that chain, up at half-back as well. So really important for your smalls and your medium forwards to get up the ground but then get back, and a good start for Cozzy.
Get the feeling could be a lot of goals kicked tonight. Could be some electric stuff from end to end. Started that way a little, Rivers. High footy. Out of the way there by Fritsch. Langdon, this is his wing, he basically owns it, never comes off. Gee, going in super hard there was Allen. Tremendous Salem, tackled by the bigger Cox, had to unload. Rivers, Langdon again, and now they get hold of the footy. Fritsch and the runner Rivers. Henry could come at him, the soccer off the ground, dangerous position here. Meltram eyeing the ball. Josh Dacos, Maynard, knew if he took it he would have been in trouble. Brilliant tap. Pendlebury. Clever, really clever. And now Lockie Schultz.
But the runner Maynard has a bounce. That noise you're going to hear all night, I suspect. Across the face with a dribbler to Hill. Lipinski. Nick Dacos.
Ed Allen has had 6 touches for Collingwood, their youngest player out there tonight. A fast start for him. And a pretty fast start for this man too, Nick Dacos.
They gave him some good responsibility, starting him in the centre square, the first bounce.
Wouldn't surprise you from here either with Nick. Well, the wind's helping a little bit. Retro pushing it left to right. So just at left goal post here, BT. Let it fade back in.
That's exactly what's happening.
Look out.
Nothing surprises you with this bloke, although it's touched on the line.
Second youngest player on Collingwood's list. The other one is Allen, who's playing his second game tonight. Incredible to think he's so advanced in his method and play. Still the second youngest on their list tonight, of course.
That sort of says it all, doesn't it? Yep. Right from his first minute of AFL footy, Nick Dacos been unbelievable.
Unusual for Salem to turn it over. Plainer and Pendlebury. Free to go, Pendlebury. Here he is again, Nick Dacos. And 50. So this will bring him to within 20.
Not sure what Ed Langdon was thinking there. It's going to cost him a goal. He's clearly grabbed him. You can't do that. That's just a little mistake by Ed. It's going to cost them.
Stand.
4 very experienced umpires here tonight as Nick Dacos just lowballs it. Collingwood get there first.
Dacos 4 disposals early. Already had a couple of shots at goal.
They're starting off the half-forward line. I reckon they'd put him there to see if Neil Bullen would go to him, but hasn't affected him. 4 touches and a couple of shots on goal already.
Judd McVie having a run inside. It's a role I think he's built for, and maybe about one preparation away from side bottom. Superb.
He went to 18 centre bounces last week, McVie, so clearly a midfielder they want to play in there in the future.
Parker to Moore.
That's the exciting thing for Melbourne fans, I think, moving forward. There are some really good young players coming through.
Yep. Turner, Van Rooyen, Tolstrup. Turnover to Petty. And wants to release to Langdon, he does. Chandler forward of the ball. Parker comes to him. Low one through the hands of Viney. There is Tolstrup. Side bottom, a tumbler. The bounce works. Schultz goal side. Kicks it to green grass. And McDonald's first back there, but he falls over. And the ball is out.
That was a professional veteran there. A deliberate fall over.
How hasn't he not played that deliberate?
That is unbelievable. There's no one within 10 metres.
That's a try.
And they would say that he slipped over the line accidentally.
Very coordinated slip there, PT.
It was. Thought he could have held on to the ball a little longer with the kick as well.
He's got a big job here at this stoppage on Jamie Elliott. Tom McDonald.
Elliott trying to get on the fly there, just on the bottom of the picture. There is McCreary. Retreats looking for Noble. Melcham made it really difficult for him. The backup is good. Howe to Crisp. Back to Howe. Gets a look around the corner. And out of bounds on the full.
Outside 5.
Quickly into Tajwa Woden. A late in for Lever. Interesting kick.
Yeah, they've been a bit sloppy coming out of G50 early, Melbourne. A couple of turnovers. Collingwood are really pressing down here. I've seen Howe just have a shot at goal. Maynard's had a couple of touches forward of centre.
Ball in. Some territory early here for Collingwood as Held in was crisp.
Darcy, out here.
Razor Ray in his last game throws it up. Dacos to Dacos. Josh, the standing barrel. Drags it left.
I'd hope Salem in the midfield is a little bit more cautious of Nick Dacos. They just let him stand in that contest all by himself. Got it out to his brother.
Tomlinson, will it be his last game for the Demons here tonight? Howe trying to thread the needle. With Dacos, Viney alert. Looking for the give and go. Salem got it back off the skipper. Great. Read the ball brilliantly. He may turn a run to that position. That's what you're talking about, Richo.
The good kickers draw the forward into the ball. That's what he did.
Pickett! Over the top, couldn't quite hang on. What about the recovery? Moore's got to beat him. Did well, dragged it in. Brett Roseberry with a hot whistle.
Involved early, Cozzy. Jumped early. Protected the space pretty well there in the air. Tried to turn and take it in the air.
We'll take mark of the year, they say, 1 year, the Demons.
Gee, he got on the move through that stoppage there. You've got to watch him here. Collingwood defence. Here he is again.
Pendlebury taken to ground. Melcham. That's narrow.
He's got that dangerous look about him early. Pickett tonight. Twice he nearly gained possession through those stoppages.
Time and forward half, well and truly in the Magpies' favour. The veteran Howe gets all the way to the back, and McCreary can't keep it alive.
So Van Rooyen to do the ruck work here. Cox, both hands on it forward. Dacos was always on the run. Ends up with it incredibly. Everyone knew he was going there. Chris couldn't handle it. Billings, Woden, the late replacement for Jakey Lever. Dacos threading the needle. That's better. That's what Luke Hodge was calling for.
So, Hodgie, you know Neil Bullen can play a role. Is it time already for Dacos here? He's having far too much space. If he has the ball with that much space in this position, it's always going to be a mark inside 50.
Yeah, I think so. That's where they started him half forward to see what the plan was going to be. But when he comes in, he's had 7 already, set up a couple of forward entries.
This will be Collingwood's 5th score. 5 score involvements for Nick Dacos already. That misses to the left. And I tell you what, if this keeps going, and it might be the last game of the year, Richo, he could end up with 60.
Well, he's got that look about him, so it's probably decision time now for Simon Goodwin.
Jake Bowie. High and wide. Petty almost. Billings. Chandler. Did that really nicely. Now Tolstrup. Hand to it, just unable to reel that in. Numbers now for Collingwood. Parker, they bounce off half-back. Good kick for Hill. Wide open inside 50, Cameron.
They've just got so much space in that forward line. As soon as they break it from a contest, if they win the ball 50-50, they look out wide. They're working so hard to get to the outside of the contest. Good strong 1v1 there from Josh Dacos, and off they go.
There's Stephen May and Jake Lever out late. They look vulnerable behind the footy at the moment, Melbourne.
4 marks inside 50 already for Collingwood.
Darcy Cameron. That's better. Second goal, Collingwood. Terrific year, Darcy Cameron. In a lot of All-Australian discussions. Question around how much footy Max Gawn has played in the year. He is the game's preeminent ruckman, but he's had a very good season, that man on screen.
all the Melbourne boys that aren't playing tonight. Stephen May, the king up there. And I guess, Richo, when you've got May and Lever out, your whole game is structured around that zing off half-back, defend first, get ball, and then zing. It can fall apart pretty quickly when you haven't got them.
Yeah, and Lever is the organiser too. If you watch Jake closely, it's his voice all night, just getting everyone organised down there. So they're finding some holes, Collingwood. Jack Bruce. We've still got some experience down there. Tom McDonald, obviously, and Tomlinson have played a lot of footy.
Crispy's 237th consecutive, trying to chase down Jimmy Steins at 244. He's not far off that now. He'll go again next year. Chris been an important player for them, probably finishing their top 5 in the BNF again this year. He's been Mr. Consistency. And player Lee Fisher. McCreary, little touch on. Bowie. Elliott, wonderful. Bobby Hill over the top. Waiting at the back is Hoskin Elliott. And Adam Tomlinson's going to have his hands full tonight. They're sharing and caring as well.
They're winning it back and then getting a lot of speed on the footy, and it's making it nearly impossible to defend their back 50 at the moment.
I'm not sure what their defenders are doing at the moment. Rich, I haven't looked at them closely. Maybe they just need to go one-on-one and try and man up that way, rather than try and repeat the structure that they haven't done as a group together. So here is Bobby Hill, a relatively simple 30-metre kick. Nails it. Collingwood have got 3 in a row. Looking like they have many options when they're going forward. Most of them short, easy little present-up leads at the moment.
There's no pressure on the ball carrier, BT, and that makes it so hard to defend. So you've got to look up the ground and go, we've got to get our pressure up. They're winning it back and exploding, Collingwood.
Well, the ball's coming fast into the forward line. As soon as Jamie Elliott gets it, Hoskin Elliott realises he's got so much space in behind him, so he turns around, puts the jets on, and then Bobby Hill hits a perfect kick, and a little bit of reward gives it back to him. But that's going hot. 12 inside 50s, 7 scoring shots. As soon as Collingwood get the ball, they're just motoring forward.
6 marks inside 50 already for Collingwood. They average 11 a game. Go on with some follow-up. Parker just unable to be clean, although he went back and got it. Langdon, loopy handball for Hall, tough one to handle. Lipinski, Fritsch, and now Viney just bashes it forward. Big Mason, boot to ball, Rivers wins. A nice one-on-one.
Only one touch for Viney, so side bottom doing the job.
Long ball for the 100-gamer, but it's straight into the hands of Mason Cox.
You mentioned side bottom. Got a few older players going through to next year. All of them. I don't think any of them are leaving. Richo, you think you're confident with side bottom playing this sort of role? He can go again?
Absolutely. The jobs he's done. Goulden, Lockie Neal, now Jack Viney. He was playing on the wing for a lot of the year, but it's been a good move.
Rivers, low ball in, but cutting it off Maynard. Not a bad lead from Turner. Pickett tried to burst out onto him. Immediately it was Parker. 50-odd thousand in the house here tonight. Nice game for these two. Gawn through heavy traffic, had a bit of a ping, and of course, is it 3 out of the last 4 years, the team that has won the premiership has missed the finals next year. It's happened 5 times in history, Richo. 3 of those in the last 4 years.
Yes, 5 this century, starting with the 2009 Hawks that Luke was part of. It's very, very hard to back up, isn't it?
Talk about that later, the fine line between winning and then missing out.
Well, we'll get Hodgie to talk about that, Brian.
Parker. Noble. Wide open, uncontested marking for Collingwood here. McCreary. The AFL BT would say that's equalisation working.
Yes, absolutely they would. Good on them.
Oh, McCreary. Cox underneath this. And Tomlinson with a fist.
You'd agree with that, JB, wouldn't you?
This is the connection we're talking about with Melbourne centre forward. If you look at Van Rooyen, he's leading towards the corridor. You got Cox coming back. Rivers just goes long down the line, easy intercept mark. This is where they need to get better as a forward midfield connection.
Quick drawers, Hodgie really gets those shaded areas up quickly. Gone.
Looks good at that, BT.
Nice. Already underneath this.
Colac High.
Yeah, Trinity College.
There's umpire Simon Meredith, along with Lee Fisher, Brett Roseberry, and the retiring Ray Chamberlain. 389, 1,650 games between these four umpires. There is Pendlebury, the little low shooter to Bobby. This is the way Collingwood are finding the ball inside 50.
Yeah, well done by Maynard, and then Mason Cox clean. And when you get Scott Pendlebury time and space like that, let's have a look at this here. Well done, Maynard, just smashes it forward. They love doing that. Pendlebury gets it there with that much time, you're going to mark it, and they have. That's 7 marks now inside forward 50.
Well done, Mason Cox. A 7-footer to be that clean. Below his knees. Hill for his second. Collingwood for their 4th straight here. Punt road end. No problems. 21-point lead. Fast starting team here, and it's just patently obvious that with May and Lever, that back end are just full of uncertainty in the method in which they should go about it at the moment.
BT, picture this compared to up the other end. There's that little hole in front of Bobby Hill, and Pendlebury just puts it in front, lets him run onto it himself. That's the difference between Melbourne and Collingwood at the moment. Melbourne is just bombing it in long. Collingwood are lowering their vision, putting it to the favour of their forward. That's why they've had so many scoring shots so early in the game.
Got 2 already, Bobby Hill. Side bottom. Just got that away. The Dacos boys combine. Elliott. Schultz at the back. Crisp now. To the dangerous spot. Langdon. Neil Bullen. Bit off a lot.
On the ball. Advantage.
Side bottom. Forced to kick it. And he kicks a goal. Everything's working now for Collingwood. The ball's living in their forward half, and even when they half muck it up, it still goes through.
Well, maybe they are on the way to that 100 points they need. Oh, come on. You know what? They've only got to repeat this 3 more times, and they might. Haven't got to wait for Sunday then. But they're all over it. So their pressure is right up. Melbourne just can't maintain possession at all. Only 10 marks in the quarter. And even when the advantage is taken inside, he didn't want it, he still slots it.
At this rate, there'll be no Saturday drinks for Collingwood. They're going to have to wait till Sunday just in case.
You never know.
Oh, Richo, please. 5 in a row here, though. 27-point leaders. A ballistic start.
They do have the weekend off, BT.
9 Nick Dacos touches. Make that 10 already. Side bottom just shoving tacklers aside. Goes with a left foot dribbler. Schultz tried to strike it. Picked up magnificently there by Howes. Out wide from McDonald with a very nice kick, and he finds Chandler. Chandler over the top here to McVee.
Judd McVee, very consistent year, emerging player, a couple of bounces, pounding down the side, and then he shins it inside 50, not a great result. Easy for Cameron. Contested marks, they're really starting to rack up here for Collingwood. There's 3. A lot of space, another one here. There's another one. They've worked this ball really professionally to the wing.
Collingwood take 80 marks a game. They've already had 31 tonight. So Melbourne just aren't defending the ground well.
Late fist in. And Ryan hasn't belted away from him, but he controls it at ground level. Petty's just got to thump it forward. Melcham, the ball didn't stay in.
27-point lead already. Nick Dacos has had 10. Josh Dacos has had 10. Richo, have you just got a little twinkling in the back of your mind that the Brownlow, you know, if I keep going the way I am, they've had 9 winners, only 2 in the last 44 years. Would he be thinking about that? Tell me.
Hodgie is nodding.
Yes.
I'm sure he probably is.
He had 3 of the first shots of goal. Of course he was.
I mean, he knows that he would have won it last year if he didn't miss that last month.
Chandler and Neil Bullen. Fritz is wrapped up by Josh Dacos.
Hold the ball. Collingwood, stand.
Jamie Elliott, he's really staying quite deep, stretching out this Melbourne defence.
And I'll tell you what, his brother's looking for him as well.
Yeah.
He's given it to him about 4 or 5 times.
It certainly is.
Josh might steal the 3, the way this is going.
I don't think either of them have been off in this quarter either. Certainly Nick hasn't. There's Lipinski. High footy McDonald. Simon Goodwin will get an opportunity at quarter time to address the issues, and they just tighten up a little. It comes more from 2 deep out the back. Nick Dacos, another little handball, this time a fumble by Lipinski. Picked up by Chandler, lovely. Bowie needs to be good, it is. Beautiful ball to Turner. Turner can wheel and go. He's got Melcham in a genuine one-on-one. He ignores that.
I reckon Howe snuck a few metres there on the mark. Did really well.
Sideways to Rivers, Rivers to Woden. Woden goes inside. Misses Fritsch.
Yep, too heavy the kick. Side bottom to Richards. Crisp. And Elliott comes at the kick. Look at this room. Pendlebury with an acre. Dacos again to Josh.
It's 37 marks now.
Oscar Elliott, the thump came from McDonald. Tomlinson. Through the hands of Howes. Fritsch. Eventually out.
Craig McRae, JB, past 3 weeks have been the epitome of Collingwood under this man. 3-point win over Carlton. Post-siren operations there. 3-point loss to Sydney. Victim of perhaps a non-50 goal. And then last week a 1-point win over Brisbane when they were 5 goals down. It's been an amazing roller coaster for that man coaching.
Well, just to that point, BT, there've been 9 games this year decided by 6 points or less involving the Pies. They've won 6 of them.
Wow.
Had 2 draws, and that loss you spoke about to the Swans. They're incredibly good when the game's on the line.
It is some sort of pattern, that is for sure. Fritsch, Bowie. Melbourne under all sorts of pressure here at the moment. This man going back to South Australia has made that clear. Seems to have been accepted by the club. Here's Viney. Side bottom, the charge is on for Collingwood again. Kick was a little too far in front of Schultz though. Keeps it alive, rather dubiously. Back here to Richards. Didn't get the depth in the kick, and the mark is taken by Woden.
Not a lot on offer for him, so gone down the line normally works pretty well, but siren sounds, emphatic first term Collingwood. They led it by 27 points.
All right, there we go, folks. The end of the first quarter. And it's the Magpies. They're in full control. Looks a little bit like a training drill for them out there at the moment. 9 scoring shots to 2, 5-4, 34. The Magpies, big leaders over Melbourne, 1-1-7. Tell you what, they're going all right, aren't they? What's that, 27-odd points up after the first quarter, in full control. Stay hunky, welcome in. Addy G, Can they win by 100 points? He's hoping. Hey, Helen, welcome in. Welcome everybody in. Who else? Ryan was come in. Chris came in. David came in. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good to see everyone in here for the big game. Nicky was in there early as well. Don't forget, vote. Who you think's going to win the game, folks? We've got 33 votes in so far. 64% say the Maggies. 36% say Melbourne. Let's just have a quick look at the folks out there. They were talking about can they make the finals? Well, this is Collingwood. This is a live ladder. So we would pretty well say they'll win tonight. Well, the way the game's going, it looks like they're on top, well on top of Melbourne. But this is the issue. Stay hungry, ADG. This is the issue. Their percentage, 9% now behind Carlton. And the problem is Western Bulldogs' percentage is too much. So I don't think they can climb above them. Hawthorn, Carlton, well, I can't see Hawthorn getting beaten by a big margin, so that's where Magpies probably need to win by 150, 200 points, and then say Carlton or Hawthorn to lose probably, by about 80 points to get that 10% margin. That percentage that's a big margin. So I think with the live ladder, we will see Collingwood were 100.1, and now they're 100. So they've made 1.4% up for 27-point lead. So they probably need 150, 200-point victory tonight, and then say Carlton to lose by 10 plus goals. That's the type of turnaround we need in the Western Bulldogs. Their percentage, you see their Western Bulldogs. So if the Pies win tonight, they'll go to 52 points, same as the Bulldogs, Hawthorn and Carlton. But the Bulldogs' percentage is 123, whereas Collingwood's percentage is just now 101.05. So that is like a full game. That's too big a margin to gap on the Bulldogs. So it's pretty well Hawthorn or Carlton that need to lose by a big margin. So there we go. But there's still a mathematical chance. Just while we're waiting, let's have a look at the players' stats there, because we know who the number one possession getter, let me just reload that up, is on the ground. Of course, that's the little champion, Nick Dacos. 13 disposals already. He's had plenty of score involvement, 7 kicks, 6 handballs, 5 marks, 1 tackle, 2 clearances and a goal. He's on point for 3 Brownlow votes in this game already. Of course, his brother, Josh Dacos there, up to 12. A couple of cracking quarters by the brothers there. Scotty Pendlebury's having a good quarter there for the Pies, as is still side bottom 9 and 8. Trent Rivers the best for Melbourne on 7. Jeremy Howe getting into the action. Good to see Bobby Hill finally starting to come alive in this game. He's had a few quiet weeks. He's had 6 touches, 4 kicks, and he's kicked a couple of sausage rolls. Good on you, Bobby Hill. Christian Salem there with 5. We go down there. Maxi Gawn's having a quiet first quarter with just the 5 hit-outs. Well, let me just roll down this a little bit more. Darcy Cameron there with the 4 touches, 3 kicks, a goal. Well done. We'll just go down there. Mason Cox, although he's only had 3 possessions, he's done reasonably well so far in the game where he's been positioned. Couple of kicks, a mark, a handball, a tackle. 4 hit-outs, so he hasn't done too bad. So there is the stats there. Let's quickly just head over to the team stats, and it should be the Pies leading the way in most of these, I would imagine. So the disposals for the Pies, 109, 34 up on the Demons already, so the margin's stretching out. The kicks, the handballs, inside 50s, have a look at that, 18 to the Magpies for 9 scoring shots, going at 50%. Of course, the Demons inside 8 times, I should say, for 2 scoring shots, so they do need to lift there. The defence of Collingwood holding up really strong. The Magpies are finding so much space around the ground. Ice baby, Unsa will be lurking again. No worries. Thanks, Icy. Good stuff. Good stuff. Disposal efficiency, Pies on top there. Melbourne need to lift that a little bit. 3 free kicks to the Magpies. None to Melbourne yet. Collingwood tackling well and clean. There's the stoppages. There's the possessions, because the boys are out on the ground and they're heading back to their positions. Whoops, there we go. The mark's 37-17, so got full control around the ground, has the Pies. Mark's inside 50. 7 in the first quarter is a monster number. Melbourne yet to take a mark inside 50. They need to find a little bit of space and try and direct it to their targets a little bit better. Anyway, that is the team stats. Let me just whirl this back up. Let me head back across to here, to the worm, to the main page, and let's go down to the ground for the bounce of the ball as we go into the second quarter as the Magpies by 27 points.
Too closely. Certainly Christian Salem started on him, but he's been dynamic on his way to 3 votes, that's for sure, and could tip him over the edge for a Brownlow medal, Gary.
100%. 7 marks inside 50 to none, so the ongoing problem of Melbourne's ball use going forward compared to Collingwood's. It was an absolute debacle for the Demons, but perfect start for the Magpies, and looks like a change has been made. Judd McVee's gone to Nick Dacos.
Hold him, man. Dacos, help me arm.
So he starts this quarter well. Possession number 14. Dean. Lipinski.
Play on.
Fresh run of the ball. No one anywhere near Cameron.
That was just smart there from Jamie Elliott. Elliott just put a little bit of a block on Maxi Gawn. Gave him 2 metres. Just subtle. Just ran him between the road of him. Cox helped as well. Great mark from Darcy. There's a difference between the 2 forward lines at this stage. One's working for one another.
I mean, Melbourne have gone seasons where they only give 8 marks up in a whole game. 8 already.
Very good set shot exponent, as you can see. For goal number 2 on the night. Never looked like it. Simple for McDonald.
Moore's got this covered. Just really blocked out. Just going long down the line. Far too much at the moment, Melbourne. They just can't maintain possession. They're giving it straight back to Collingwood.
Move it on. Play on.
Very stagnant, crowded forward end here for the Pies. Cox trying to come forward deep. These dead rubber games, what is it like playing in the dead rubber games? Richo, you've played in a couple. Hodgie, you've played in a few as well.
Why'd you come straight to me?
Because you played in a few more than anyone else.
Well, clearly it's hard, your motivation levels at times. You are having one eye ahead to probably a bit of a break.
Lucky I didn't ask Joel Selwood. 1 out of 355 games was dead. 1 out of 355. That is unbelievable. Hodgie, you had more than you think you did. Here's Howe.
Didn't play finals for the first 6 years.
Okay. Little one out the back door from Dean.
I reckon more than half my games were dead rubbers.
Lipinski, come on, Richo, get up. Hoskin Elliott committing. Crisp to Pendlebury. Bails out a little bit, back to Richards, and Collingwood control the ball with Quainer.
You certainly don't want to get blown away in that last game, though, Brian. It does leave a bit of a taste in your mouth.
You played in a lot of games, Richo, where mathematically you could still make the top 14.
Lipinski.
No, come on, that's not
That's
fair.
not nice,
No,
Brian.
it's not.
To the pocket, and again, simple access to the ball for Cameron.
But this is like the amount of numbers that Melbourne have back there. You can tell if they've switched on or checked out BT. I know we sort of joke around, but Melbourne have totally checked out. Look at the numbers they've got back here. No one's dropping back in the hole. To be able to get a pretty much uncontested mark like that, it's just silly.
Horrible from the set shot moments ago. That's better. 2 on the night. That is now 6 in a row.
This is just way too easy. It's a kick. It's a normal kick inside forward 50, but Tomlinson to be able to allow Darcy to be able to run and take a mark as easy as that with the amount of people around him. It was a nice kick to put in his favour, but to be able to take a mark like that, 6 goals already to 1, it's just been a domination from Collingwood.
No one has kicked 7 goals in a row against Melbourne this year. Collingwood have got a chance to do that. No, they haven't. Pretty simple out of the centre, get a contest, and then a nice finish from Chandler.
Necessary goal. Like in your run of 6 and not only that, but just all ground dominance. Van Rooyen tries to find it at ground level. Allen went without. Quick release from Dacos, some party tricks coming out. Salem forward.
High contact. Melbourne.
Petty, a free kick.
Well done, Petty. The last 2 contests. Got in front, worked hard for front position.
Thanks, Jay.
Hasn't taken a mark in 50 yet. Here's an opportunity.
Looks like he's happy to take a flight. There's 2.
He can kick a long nut.
Harry Petty from downtown. He goes for the set-up kick instead. Van Rooyen!
Oh, what a great kick from Petty. Didn't hang it in the air, so that allowed Van Rooyen to come and run and jump at it, and the Collingwood defenders were on the back foot because he disguised it pretty well. If it hangs in the air, the defenders are able to spoil that, but it was the fact that he kept it flat and he put it to the right spot and he released at the perfect moment, Van Rooyen.
41st game for Jacob Van Rooyen. He's just coming into the turbo years. So much expected of him at Melbourne. 2 in as many minutes. Goals now for the season for Jacob Van Rooyen.
He'll crack the 50 in the next couple of seasons, JB.
How they love him internally.
You can see him right up the back there with the hat on. Sitting there, been a lot of talk about him in recent times. Seems to have patched all that up and looks to be moving on, Richo.
Yeah, Stephen May spoke to us pre-game. He was down at the club during the week and spoke to the group.
There's some talented people in that picture there. Oliver, May, Petrarca.
Collingwood. Stand.
George Dacos on the far back. The other one, Hoskin Elliott. McCreary. Pace. Ooh, over the top there was Hall. A little careless. In fact, very careless.
Head down, picking the ball up. Stand.
High tackle, head down, picking the ball up. Said that's our best, Brett Rosebery.
That's where you're almost leading him to get a free kick. In the past, blokes would have put their backside there to protect himself. He's turned into the traffic, and yes, it was dangerous and it should have been a free kick, but that's what players are doing now to try and draw the free kick.
McCreary doesn't really go for it. Cameron's got the body position here. Salem clearing, but dangerous kick. More from 3 deep, trying to jump over the top. Lipinski out the back door to the left-footed Chris, gives it off to Dacos. This is Josh, tries to thread the needle. Bobby Hill might get it, he does.
Gee, they're pressing right up this Collingwood defence. You see Darcy Moore there nearly intercepting that ball 40 metres out. all of the Collingwood players were within 55 metres of Melbourne's goal there. Really got the press on. They're still able to find space inside 50 because you've got an excellent user like that, Josh Dacos.
We talk quick when Bobby's got the ball. That's because he's quick. So here is Bobby Hill. A 40-metre set shot. Here's the beautiful kick. This one's way offline though.
We've had a couple of shanks down there this quarter. One from Cameron.
Tomlinson. Now he actually did well to break that up. Crisp. Schultz. And Howes. And a double pie tackle.
Darcy, Jacob.
Through comes Hill. Richards gives it back to him. Crisp. Richards. That's better. Joe Richards, his first of the night. Talked during the week that Port Adelaide have put a considerable offer to him. Interesting in game number 9. Chiraja from Wangaratta.
Tell me about Bobby Hill here, Richo. Look at this.
Just smart. He's got such a good understanding, and in tight situations he works so well with those quick feet, but just smart hands. He knew he had to bounce that down, and he's just made something out of absolutely nothing there for his team. That's what he can do.
But it's also Tom McDonald was standing him, so he realised he's going to take a big fella into the contest and lose him, and that's exactly what he did.
Amazing. Keziah Pickett advancing the ball, playing it, got his man under the footy. Jakey Melksham looking stronger and stronger in his comeback as well. Jeremy Howe to Jamie Elliott.
There's only one Melbourne player this quarter that's had more than one possession. That's Christian Salem's had 4. And no one else with more than one.
Lipinski back to Jeremy Howe.
And 13 players haven't touched it this quarter.
Now steers it long and wide, and McDonald gets in the way of Tomlinson, or maybe the other way around. Schultz out the full.
They're really struggling to exit their D50. The Melbourne Footy Club. They're just being forced long down the line, and as I've said a few times now, Collingwood are really pressed down. Look at that. They've condensed the ground into that little quarter there.
Marty Hall. Free kick will be paid, or the mark will be paid to the next corner.
Stand.
Look at who Melbourne can't select tonight. Oliver, Windsor, Lever, May, Sparrow, Petrarca. They have got some real quality out of this team. Little fumble from Maynard, but on the up it works to Pendlebury, and now side bottom. Kicks it straight back to Big Max.
Just on that, JB, I reckon this used to carry 30 deep. Now I reckon it's much skinnier, like 23, 24, 25 deep. That can impact immediately. So you have good players out like that, and you're immediately in trouble. Van Rooyen and now Mark Turner.
That was their best passage of the night. Max Gawn took a risk at half back, but it paid off to Salem. When you get it in Salem's hands, something happens. Came through the corridor, and that was pretty much their best ball movement tonight.
I reckon if you've got 2 or 3 players out, JB, that are significant players for a significant time, you're in trouble.
Oliver, Lever, May, Petrarca are 4 of their best 6, 7.
Especially 2 big guns throughout the midfield as well.
So any score here, and remarkably, the Demons will be winning the quarter. After a dynamite 27-point lead in the first quarter, Collingwood now just 26 up.
Pensive. Darcy Moore bringing it back in. He thought about the corridor. And he splashes it in the Hoare direction. Uncontested for him. Just even things up a touch, although that's dangerous. In the end, it worked for McDonald, and now Salem. It had a bit of a witch's hats look about it at stages in this game, but Melbourne have got themselves back a little.
That's good by McDonald to give an option there for Salem. He didn't want to go long.
Belts it to the fat side. Gawn involved. McCreary. What about that handball? Schultz not having to break stride. Chandler. Superb from Dacos. Tomlinson comes forward. Keziah Pickett. Really nice handball for Chandler. Goes back in the Turner direction. Now Van Rooyen. Can't drag that around enough.
So Melbourne just really competing hard now.
Some Melbourne fans give a bit of a cheer to Maynard. The Collingwood fans are trying to drown it out with cheers.
Oh, this is the Melbourne home game here tonight. Missed target by Lockie Schultz.
Bowie, Chislett to Pickett. Howe closes quickly, but Pickett took it out in front of the Dukes.
Well, they're able to win it back. They haven't been able to do that much tonight. Got it to ground and then some good ball use. Look at Pickett on his own there. Jeremy House trying to set something up and just probably that cost him because he wasn't on Pickett. Gave him that little bit of space he needed and it was a good kick.
Good pick up, Richo. So Pickett, 3 seconds to get it back under 20. There's the target. Gets his second. Up to 19-point margin here now. And looking much more competitive here. The Demons.
Richo, you've mentioned a couple of times just the way that Melbourne have moved the ball this quarter. They've lowered their vision. They've been able to put the ball to the favour of a forward or a midfielder, and that's affected the scoreboard. They've gone inside forward 56 times for 5 scores.
Abby, to you?
Yeah, Bailey Fritsch has just come from the ground in the hands of the doctor. He's gone straight down into the room, so I'll follow up and come back to you when I know more.
Holding! Nick Dacos!
That's going to be
Holding
allowed to
Nick
come back.
Dacos! Set up. Nick, ready to do.
2 holding free kicks for Nick this quarter.
Yep.
That's what I thought it was Neil Bullen who's going to go to him. It was actually McPhee. He's actually done a reasonably job. This is only Nick's second disposal for the quarter.
Well, he's been a great shutdown defender, McVeigh, so he knows how to put the clamps on. Different role in the midfield, but he's a disciplined player in that situation. In fact, defensively, one-on-one, he doesn't lose a lot, McVeigh. He's really good in the one-on-ones. It's a different type of situation he finds himself in here, though.
Tomlinson did well.
Bobby Hill thought he was pushed in the back.
That's not as good. Chopped off by Lipinski. Sloppy in defensive 50 from Melbourne.
th game for Paddy Lipinski. Pocket for the Pies. Do well to get this out of bounds here, the Demons. Been amazing this year, the Pies, in the 13 games of the G that they have played.
There's the Collingwood boys. Oh, sorry, BT. Collingwood boys really getting stuck into McVeigh. They know he's going to Nick Dacos. They're trying to look after the young champ.
They've drawn an average of 75,433. Extraordinary from a team that's not actually featuring in finals.
That's got to be a record, doesn't it, average?
Yeah, I think they had 71 there a couple of years ago, so 75,000 this year has been remarkable. A few disappointing games here for the home side tonight. Melbourne, they've had, I think, crowds of 16 and 17,000 in recent time at their home games. Look at this. Melbourne have found some room here if Salem can unload. Just got caught with it, but McDonald can make it work.
Tolstrup's on in the corridor.
Billings to Melksham. Here is Pickett if he wants to hit him. He was wide open. Goes longer. Van Rooyen jumps. Pickett got the front and centre. He is so magnificent there, but misses.
He did really well, Pickett. He led up at the ball carrier. It was a good lead. It was the right option to probably go over his head to the one-on-ones, but he just got back so quickly. That would have been a sensational goal. Led up, look at him there, turned, and then the push off at the right moment. Deserved better.
Lots of room here for Josh Dacos. Belts it to Quainer. Richards, Nick Dacos, they come forward at him. Elliott, back to Richards. On the ground, Mason Cox went to ground. And Bowie straight back into the arms of Nick Dacos. Trying to pick the eyes out of it. Goes for Cameron. It gets through him. Again, players going to ground. And holding the ball.
Drive, drag on it. Thank you. Bobby, second out, please.
So let's have a look at this. Is this ball dragged in? He possessed it. Free kicks at the moment, 1-8. There you go. That's why you can hear some disgruntled Demon fans.
He didn't drag it in. He got there to make sure it didn't come out, Elliott.
That's well said. The third of the quarter here for the Magpies. They've been sloppy in front of goal. That's the third miss.
Razor Ray just paid the one free kick in his departure game tonight. He's using that incredible Acme Thunderbolt whistle. Of course, Richo told me that a P, if you blow it powerfully, lasts about 2 years, and I've worked it out with these umpires tonight here. There are 79 seasons between them, so they would have, in their time, gone through about 40 Ps.
Gee, you've had a pretty boring week, Bristol, haven't you? Chris, to be honest.
Schultz knocked away. He's the only umpire using a metal whistle because it doesn't damage, or it does damage his teeth, and Rosebery's got the new white pearls in, so he uses the plastic one. Watch out for the Acme Thunderer.
Jeez, it is round 24. That's it there, Brian.
Yeah, that's the chrome-plated version. Knock your teeth out, chip 'em version.
Holding Melbourne.
Next ball, free kick. Into the hands of Melcham. Wants to go fast. Turn it a fly, couldn't hang on. Tolstrup, ground level, it got beyond him. Allen to Hill. Ball with him.
Jack Bowie has just limped to the interchange bench as well with the doctors. Looks as though it is a right ankle injury, right knee they might be looking at. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Thanks, Abby. Not comfortable on that landing. Langdon. Van Rooyen taken under it.
Holding short. Collingwood. Advantage. You.
Pies through the middle, but not going to get any luck here. Alex Neil Bullen there, Band-Aid man. Salem, Noble went for the all or nothing.
Smart by Salem. He knew if he picked that up, he'd be pinged.
Salem, little short ball backwards, Neil Bullen there.
He's been their best player tonight, Salem. Viney, still only 3 possessions. Side bottom's done it again.
Neil Bullen wide. Noble. Corridor, Maynard. Slicing ball, Hoskin Elliott needs to be good overhead. Well done, Howes. Mopped up and picked up as well. Salem quickly onto the boot, need to advance it. Schultz playing high up the ground, doing some good things. Noble
Whisked the handball off to the man that Richo spoke about inside bottom. Over the top, Chandler couldn't reel it in. McCreary's one out, really. Just looking for any sort of runner. Found Cox. Got a beautiful boot on ball. Bobby Hill ran straight over the top of it. Vantage paid. Josh Dacos to Lipinski. .2:26 remaining in the half.
Just great forward pressure there from McCreary. Great tackle. And then the smart from Josh Dacos. I know we spoke a little about Nick.
There's nowhere idea where he was. He kicks the goal, then McCreary had his eyes covered.
This is unreal from McCreary. That's why they love him in the side. He's chasing, he's tackling, the pressure that he puts on in that forward half. Turn the ball over there, and then the smarts from Josh Dacos was able to put it out to Lipinski, who had no issues there, snapping it for another goal.
Chandler got it to Viney. Rare touch for him. Long in the Turner direction. Look out, Cozzy Pickett coming in more. Now, is that a high hit on Darcy Moore? Certainly Maynard thinks so.
Got it. Look after that. Thank you. We're good. Thank you. Try back on lights.
Have a look here. Certainly contact with the head was made.
But not harshly enough, I don't think, JB. It was a brushing effect. He's surprised if there's any damage there. McCreary. Woden ran into the brick wall at the side bottom. He turned and side bottom was all over him. Simon Merrill saying that meant he had prior opportunity. Love the way Razor handled that difficult situation a moment ago.
Stand.
A minute to go in the half here. Lipinski. We're back almost to the quarter-time margin of 25. Gone. Of 27, sorry. It's 25 at the moment.
Hang on.
High ball back, McDonald. Now Billings. Howes offers the short one. Billings ignores that. This is going to be tight. Maynard, little boot there. 32nd, wouldn't want to mistake here. Tolstrup, quick hands. Released by Salem. It was magnificent stuff. Billings, we know, is a great kick. Turner, making good ground forward. Chandler, got a beautiful left boot. Very wide to Melcham. Can he keep it alive and control? The answer is yes. Quickly to Pickett. Little underground ball. Dacos. Possession 18 for him. His brothers had 20. What about that? Almost 40 possession between the two Dacos boys.
Welcome back to Friday Night Footy on Fox. It's brought to you by Industry Super Funds. When it comes to super, there's only one symbol to look for. So the margin remains at 25. It's 27 points at quarter time, back to 25. Cozzy Pickett hit the post, had a chance to get it to 13, but really it's been a dominant first half by the Collingwood Footy Club. Not sure the 100 point is in play at the moment. It certainly was at quarter time, but it's it just sits at 25 at the moment. Jonathan Brown, Nathan Buckley, Jordan Lewis.
You will not see a more open game of football. The first half here, pretty much, we were talking about Melbourne's lengthened forwards. Well, Collingwood are doing something similar, but they had a smaller forward line that's getting sort of involved through the midfield. But Geez, that's that midfield, the centre square is as open as you will ever see it.
The lowest first half of pressure for Melbourne for the year.
Yeah.
And not surprising when you look at it.
There's one side that can play an open game. There's one side that don't have the endurance and the pace and the know-how to play an open game. And the execution. You're right. I mean, they've kicked a lot tonight, Melbourne, and they're poor kicks. So if they want to get back into this game, they need to start to generate some run and some handball receives and try and eliminate that really poor disposal by foot.
At the same time, we've been asking Melbourne to go about it in a slightly different way. So it's not going to come together, straight away. And you don't really want them to go back and try and play, a contested defensive game. So I don't mind that they're trying something different, but with the Collingwood side that's on the park, it's going to open up opportunities for them to score.
It certainly has, Brownie, when you look at these numbers.
Yeah, if it don't come to play, it's got to look about it. Both teams not playing finals next week, so it is very open. It's hard to bring pressure when you're not playing for any motivation as far as success goes at the end of the year, and the Pies have just been able to capitalise. As you said, Louis, they're a better skilled team.
Yeah.
So when you don't have the pressure on you, obviously their skills are going to come to the fore, and it looked like that. And probably, to be honest, it was just a slippery ball and some of the easy missed shots from Collingwood. Otherwise, they probably should be 45 points up.
Yeah, it looked like a training drill at time, and thanks to Zero, we'll show you a little bit. So inside the defensive 50 for Melbourne, this is quite often where you get a lot of numbers, so it's really easy to apply pressure. Collingwood just had time and space. You can see there two Collingwood players forward of the ball and two Melbourne players just spectating, and they just went around them with handball, and we speak about execution. So no pressure, execution. They just weren't switched on in an area where they need to be.
Bobby Hill, I think he was the recipient of that style of footy. This is no knock on Bobby Hill, but he just is one of those players in this environment that will find space everywhere.
Like the grand final goes when things open up.
Even that Carlton game 2 weeks ago, those high half forwards from Collingwood found a lot of space. It looks reminiscent of that.
When McCreary came back into the side, we saw Bobby Hill pop. He's been able to play a little bit more outside, open side runner, all the way back to support the defence, but then all the way forward to get involved. And McCreary coming back into the side to add that pressure has given him that luxury.
Yeah, and I think these nights are they're instructional as well, because then when you've got time and space, then you go, okay, ball users coming to the fore, which was Pendleton hitting it, the lot. I think once, I reckon I saw Jake Bowie hit Cosy Pickett. The rest of it, with no pressure, Melbourne haven't been able to hit a target. So it's part of the problems they've had for a while. Let's go to Brad Johnson, who's at the MC. Jono, what are you seeing?
Well, guys, your assessment and with the guys has been spot on in terms of what we're seeing here live at the MCG as well. And you look at what they've been able to do, scores from turnovers. Bucks, you mentioned the fact that they're lengthening the forward line. They're keeping guys at home. Collingwood, I'm talking about more often than not. The high half forwards in this game that are usually right up for Collingwood aren't going as high, mid part of the ground, that's it. So when they do transition off turnover, you can see the scores from turnover in that first half. They're able to get back inside forward 50 quickly. So when they're able to do that on transition, it's working quite well for them. Slow play, they're not getting as high also for that particular reason. So when they do get that opportunity to break through, control the ball, then go with speed at the right time, they've got representation forward of the ball. Melbourne are still compressing from a defensive point of view, but Collingwood are just sitting 5 or 10 metres behind them as forwards, knowing that when they do turn it over, that they get some speed on it, they're going to catch Melbourne defence out, and that's what they've been able to do consistently in this first half. They need to score. They know that as a team, so I think that's why we're seeing what we are tonight, because they know that the 100-point margin is something they need to try and achieve to potentially stay alive.
Good on you, Jono. The ice companies that provide the ice are the only ones that are missing out tonight. no ice packs. There'll be no bruises from that first half of footy.
There'll be ice at the bar afterwards. Because they're on the postseason.
They might be thinking about that. Steele Sidebottom has making life difficult for himself, because his last 3 or 4 weeks have been outstanding as a run-with player. And he's gone to Melbourne's heart and soul player and absolutely slaughtered Jack Viney. And he's done this. He was with Lachie Neale last week, was okay. Had his hands full early, but hit back really hard. And the week before did an outstanding job against
Sydney, Errol Gould.
Indeed. So he's done it again here. That's Jack Viney's quite his first
It's
half.
been unlikely, really. You would have Steele Sidebottom early in the year, you would have thought it turned into a tagger. Did you ever see those qualities in him?
Well, he's a very good runner. A very good runner. He knows the game really well. He's not playing at a hard lockdown, but somehow he's keeping his direct opponent to low numbers, but then going and finding the ball himself.
Harvey Norman highlights Collingwood kids. They've got opportunity and they've done well.
Yeah, from one end of the spectrum to the other. You know, we saw Ed Allen's basically started in as a centre square midfielder and been able to get a bit of a ball. There's a really good ground level ball in D50 that he was able to swoop on late in that second quarter. And, you know, we were wondering about the Collingwood midfield and what we were going to look at going forward. You know, Finn McRae as a sub and Ed Allen starting there gives us an idea. And Joe Richards, who we spoke about also, he's been lively. He's had plenty of supply in that front half. You know, Collingwood have been able to access their front half and give their forwards plenty of opportunity, but stuck a few tackles, set up a few opportunities and kicked a nice goal here, so he'd be happy with his first half also.
Yeah, I reckon Ed Allen's been fantastic as well. So he's a first-round draft pick, so they've invested heavily in him. There was a late knock from Cosy Pickett on Darcy Moore. We were getting set up here. Ralphie, is there any issue from Cosy Pickett's point of view?
No, I think the AFL will clearly have a look at it. He'd hope to be on Mad Monday or Tuesday rather than defending an MRO charge at the tribunal. Now, this is the incident here. Clearly bumps and makes head-high contact with Darcy Moore. I think the question is how much leeway he gets because Moore goes to ground quite late. In slow-mo there, gee, you think, OK, he could do something about it. But in real time, I think he goes to ground really quickly and without notice there. I wonder whether that saves him. Of course, it goes without saying that he was suspended for opening round this year after that Paddy Cripps incident of last year's finals and also suspended for another high hit on Jake Saligo. He's really trying to change his behaviour. But if you see that, as I say, in real time, it's hard for him to judge that one. And I think it might help him.
Round the table? I think he's fine. You can't force a player going to ground in that instance.
No, he thought that was going to be a shoulder-to-shoulder bump, I would have thought.
Yeah, I agree. I think Darcy Moore's okay.
I think you're the same. He was lining him up to hit him in the shoulder. So I think he's going to be okay, Ralphie. Thanks for that. We'll talk to you a bit later in the program. Let's take a break and get the very latest from Sportsbet.
All right. Well, the commentators are just on a break. I thought I might as well come and say g'day. Thanks for listening, for watching. You play football. Good stuff. I think the AFLW season, I think that begins shortly, doesn't it, from what I saw. So hopefully we'll get a few of those games in. We'll be able to broadcast some of those games like we do this one. So that'll be interesting. I'm not 100% sure when their season starts. I haven't checked that yet, but yeah, that'll be good. Never know. One day you could get up there with the big league. Maybe play for the Pies yourself. That'd be all right, wouldn't it? Try to get the team there to a flag. Would be good. Well, this is massive. Says stay hungry. I tell you what. Hopefully it's massive. Hopefully they continue on the way they're going. They look good so far. They just don't want to ease off, relax too much. What do we got? 25-point lead to the Pies there. I think the Demons won that quarter by 2 points, kicking 3 goals 3. The Pies kicking 3 goals 1. So it's not too bad. Thanks, Icy, for hanging in there. Cheers, Ryan. Good on you, Chris. Come on, Collingwood, said no sane person ever. Yeah, I'm one of those. Who say, come on, Pies, go Pies. All right, let's just have while we're waiting, let's just have a look at some of the player stats and we'll see who's getting the ball up until half time. And that is, of course, Josh Dacos, the Dacos brothers. They're the top two on the ground. Of course, Josh with 20 here. I think he had 8 in that quarter, and Nick Dacos with, I think he had 6 or 7 in that quarter. He's up to 18, both doing well. 3 clearances to Nick Dacos. Well, he wasn't too badly tagged in that second quarter, but the same. He still looked pretty free out there and looked pretty good. Christian Salem there, the best for Melbourne on 17. Scotty Pendlebury, 13, the old timer. What's this game number? 402, I think. 402, 403 for the champ. Good stuff, Scotty. We'll see him next year for the Pies as well. Leading them out, Maxi Gawn. He's going okay. He's had a few intercept marks. He's going all right. The big man with 12. Bottom there with 11. Jack Crisp with 11. Thanks. Yeah, I tell you what, it's free to be nice. It's free to be nice and say g'day to everyone that comes in. And I think that's important. Who we got? Bobby Hill there. He's up to 10. It's good to see Bobby, as I said, at quarter time. Good to see him up and lively. Sorry, I'm just doing this. All right, Tom McDonald on 9. Sorry about that. Let me just scroll down there. Maxi Gorn up to 10 hit-outs now. Kaizen Pickett, well, he may have to answer the tribunal. I'm not too sure. He copped Darcy Moore high with a shoulder. So there we go. Jamie Elliott up to 9. Lockie Schultz with a 7. Ed Langdon, there was 7. I'm just looking at the AFLW is back. Does it say when that's back? I'm not 100% sure. New season, every game live. All right, so I might be able to cover a little bit of the AFLW games as well. So that'll be pretty good. That'll be pretty good for all the girls out there. Begins August 30. All right, so that starts next week. All right, I might be able to put a few of those games in as well. All right, let's just get back to the commentators for a moment and we'll see what else they have to say on the game. I think they've got a little bit of new stuff happening as well.
Just all of a sudden, that goes from 210 to 320. So those games, of course, no overlap there. A massive Saturday ahead. Now, we start the blowtorch with Brisbane versus Essendon and Brownie. You're Chris Fagan. So your little walk around at the Gabba. You say to your superstar 200 gamer, do everything you've always done in 200 games, or, Joe, we just need a bit more from you and we need you to be more selfish.
Don't change. Been one of the most consistent forwards over the last few years, hasn't he? Would have won the Norm Smith, I think, if Brisbane had won the grand final. Just keep playing like Joe does.
Hawthorn versus North Melbourne. Sure.
All right, so while they're just talking a little bit about that, let's just have a look at the live ladder and see where that percentage has gone. There we go, 101.4. So it's still about 9% they need to make up, which is huge, but, all they can do is give it their best shot, the Maggies, and try and boost their percentage as much as possible. You never know what happens. You just never know. So, get on board, get on with the win, and let's try and make this as big as possible for the Magpies tonight. There we go. Let's have a look at the disposals now, and it's the Pies by 45. 30 up, 22 kicks up. The handballs, they're there by 25. Inside 50s, Melbourne brought that back a little bit. I think that was 11 inside 50s there to Collingwood's 9, I think, that quarter. So the Maggies been inside 27 times, inside their forward 50 for 13 scoring shots. And Melbourne inside 50 19 times for 8 scoring shots. Disposal efficiency, Melbourne have lifted that up a little bit to 70%. And of course the Pies up to 76. A little bit above their season average, which is good. Efficiency inside 50, both above their season average. Pies well and truly on top there. Free kicks, well, it was 12-2 to the Pies, but all free kicks have been there. 60-point incoming second half, Mike. Let's hope you're right, stay unky. That would be great to see them just take charge and open the floodgates, eh? Kicking a few goals, that'd be nice to see. And a good way to end the season for the Pies if this does happen to be their last game for the season. Always good to finish off on a super high. To start fresh the new season in good fashion. Hit-outs, Pies on top there by 7. The clearances, well, surprisingly, Melbourne on top there by 5. Centre clearances, all square there, 6 apiece. T-Name Bem Bem, mega love shout out to my manager. Welcome in. Thanks for coming in to saying hello. Good to see you. Stoppage clearances, 11-6. Melbourne by 5 there. Contested possessions, all square, 57 apiece. Uncontested, the Pies controlling the ball a lot more around the grounds. 127-83. Turnovers, well, 38-33, not too bad. I thought it'd be a little bit more for the Melbourne, a little bit less for the Pies, but she's pretty even there. Time in possession for the match, of course, the Maggies, 55%, 28 to Melbourne. The marks, 59-41. Pies on top there by 18. Marks inside 50. Melbourne getting absolutely dominated in this area. Pies finding their targets reasonably well. But good to see Melbourne did hit their target a few times. In that second quarter, 11-3. Contested marks. There we go. Melbourne's stronger in the air by 1. 4-3. Defensive tackles. Pies putting on the pressure there. I think it's the lowest pressure game so far that they've seen Melbourne this season. So the commentators were saying 23-18 to the Pies. Tackles inside 50. 8-3. Always important. 1%ers. Pies doing a little bit more. 21-17. The Bouncers 3-1 to Melbourne. Here, Lang Super busy, Sir Boss. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Let me just roll this back up. Hopefully that doesn't make you dizzy. Let me just set it back over there. Set it back there. We're only 3 minutes away. And as soon as the commentators come back, we will send you back down there and we will see what else they have to say before the bounce of the ball as we get the second half underway. Addy G, good stuff. What's going on, Squire? What's going on? You're not covering the game. Are you covering any games tonight there, Addy G? Or you got the basketball or something going on there later on tonight? Hopefully you got something in that. Addy G covers the basketball and all that. If you like the basketball, folks, he does a little bit of sport over on his channel. Yeah, it's all pretty good. All pretty good. And of course, Tine Bim Bim. Manager, that's my manager. Or make sure you always go and check her channel out as well. Actually, let me just drop the channel. There we go. Let me just drop the channel. And folks, it'd be nice if you head over there and give it a little bit of support because she's a cracker. There we go. There's Tine's link. And of course, let me put up, if you like basketball and that type of stuff, Addy G does a little bit of basketball coverage over on his channel. Yeah, the Basketball King. Let me just drop Addy G's over there for everyone. There we go. Good stuff. Addy Mongolian beef. Mongolian beef. Tell you what, saying that, you're going to make me hungry. Sounds all right, doesn't it? On fire. That's exactly right. Exactly right. LeBron. Addy, who's king? Chef or LeBron? LeBron. Say not all. Absolutely. You like Chef? The chef's all right when you're going out to dinner. That's all I know. I don't know of a player called Chef, but Addy G probably does, and you probably do. So that's that's pretty cool. But yeah, if you like basketball, he does a little bit of this with the basketball. There we go. All right, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to get us back down to the commentators, and they will run us into the bounce of the ball for the second half between Magpies and Melbourne. Go Pies! It's the Pies here by 25 points. Let's go to the third quarter.
The Couriers look good as well, so I think that's the message from Craig McRae, is to finish the season off strong if it is the end of the season, which most likely will be.
There's the equation, so they've got to get moving.
Yeah, I'm not expecting to see anything different. I suppose what you'd like to look for is that last kick, to be able to finish a little bit better, both sides, whether it's a connecting inside 50 or being able to kick the goals. There's no reason why we can't get a really heavy scoring second half.
Yeah, I've got connection as well. I think Collingwood connect pretty well. I think Melbourne need to get the connection much better throughout the course of the year, but particularly in a game like this, it's been so open and giving you a shot at it. McVee only had 4 possessions and Viney only had 4, so 2 of your starting midfielders.
McVee went on to Dacos the second quarter, which I liked, even though it's a dead rubber essentially. Also, I like the battle between Darcy Cameron And Max Gawn, Darcy Cameron, especially last few weeks, been terrific form. Obviously, Max is in contention for another All-Australian ruckman.
A little quieter in the second quarter thanks to that McVie matchup that you spoke about, but Nick Dacos has been super influential as he was again in that first quarter. Yeah, there's Viney starting in the middle of the ground, so that'd be interesting. You'd expect him to hit back pretty hard here. So 27 points at quarter time. It's back to 25 points at the half. We know what the Magpies need to do. Big Darcy Cameron's had his moments as well. So here we go. Big second half. We'll see you three-quarter time.
And a goal square infringement. No, it's going the other way. It happened down the ground, but it's going to be a free kick to Cameron, who gives it to Dacos. Not sure what happened there, but a magnificent kick for Richards.
Cameron looked to get a little frustrated there with Gawn.
Just haven't been able to get the switch all night. It's been long down the line again. Should have shut that off well, Collingwood.
3-on-2 there for the Pies. Lipinski through traffic. Handball went nowhere. Rivers toying with it, surrounded. Langdon underneath. Viney. Side bottom in there. Well, Woden came in to make his presence felt. There's the free kick on Gawn against Cameron.
Bit of 6 to 1, half a dozen to the other there.
Langdon. Chandler. Good ball. Gee, that was good to the advantage of Turner. Pickett there to tidy it up, tries to get it over the top to Van Rooyen, being closed down here by Noble. Just waited for him to grab it, kept alive here by the Demons. Fritsch, beautiful ball, Billings! Is the mark paid? I think so.
We're going to have a look at it, BT.
I've paid a mark, but risk review. It didn't hit the post. Score review. Umpire score was a mark. Please confirm it was a mark inside the field of play, and it did not hit the post.
Penderby definitely whacked the post with his hand.
Review underway.
Well, that doesn't prove anything.
Review complete. Look at this angle. The ball is marked before crossing the back of the behind line. Decision on scoreboard.
Did it hit the post? Who knows?
No, going to be a mark.
Jack, one more step.
In a very happy mood tonight is the retiring Ray Chamberlain. Rugby league style pass back. Billings around the corner. Goals. Great start for the Demons.
He loves the theatre, Ray. He knew he would have the camera on him, man.
Yes, he does. He does it well.
He knows when the moment's there.
He's definitely got a career ahead of him.
Great character.
Billings with the first goal of the second half for the D's, but unfortunately there is some bad news coming out of the Demons camp with Jake Bowie subbed out with that right knee injury, so Bailey Laurie coming into the action.
Cheers, Ab. Disappointing way for Jake Bowie to finish 2024, sitting it out.
Here we go.
Gone down. Dacos with brilliance. Bounces away from McVie. Lipinski lowers the eyes superbly. Hoskin Elliott. Big leading lane.
Max has got back at the top of the goal square.
He'll take everything he's got. Will Hoskin Elliott is going to set the kick up. Cameron, it got past everyone. Billings. Cozzy Pickett controlled that magnificently to Chandler. Chandler's off.
Pickett's going to get this.
He should get on the end of this, Cozzy. Oh, they went back instead of going forward there, Fridge.
Still get it. Fridge didn't see him the first time.
Cozzy Pickett. And in the end, no one went for it.
In the end, they mess it up. Pickett should have got it about 3 times in that chain. 4. Billings. Quickly, Abs.
Yes, unfortunately for Collingwood as well, we've just received the news that Darcy Moore has been subbed out with concussion after that hit with Cozzy Pickett. So that is big news coming out of Collingwood camp.
So that means that hit will be more than we thought it was, Richard. We thought it was maybe a glancing blow, but if he's suffered a concussion out of it, then the match review will take a dim view of that.
I would hope they look at should Moore have went to ground though. He initiated to go to ground because he didn't expect him to. I'm going to take that into consideration.
Always looking from the point of view of trying to get players off his Hodgie. Just fair enough. Why not? Maynard. No man's land in the middle. Tomlinson.
No man has more experience of the tribunal workings than Bill Hodge.
No, it was more the fact that we're trying to have player safety, and I 100% agree with that, but Darcy Moore went to ground when he probably didn't need to.
Which is hitting Van Rooyen out. Side bottom, at the job on Jack Viney, and has done it very well. Held Viney to just 5 possessions thus far. Maynard wide. Cox, sock it away from Viney, Cameron to Richards, Lipinski to Dacos. And the vision is exquisite. Getting on the end of it, Jamie Elliott.
I know we talk him up. It's just the agility, the turn. It's just the composure. There was a lot of people inside forward 50, but he knew exactly what he was going to do. As he was going to fake him one way, he knew there was space to his left.
You could see Elliott just pointing. He knew where he wanted it. Dacos knew exactly where he had to put it. Just 2 smart players combining. Elliott didn't take the space. He just pointed, knowing that Nick would put it there.
Flushed. First of the second half for Collingwood. Back to 25 points, the half-time margin. 21 goals on the year for Jamie Elliott.
Given that Darcy Moore is just withdrawn from the game because of concussion, this is what led to the Pickett bump to the head, and perhaps had more force than certainly I initially thought it did. Hodgie, you were worried about him sliding to the ground.
But that's what I mean. It looks like Cozzy Pickett's expecting Moore to be his normal height, so he's gone to bump.
It's a good point.
And the ball was in play. But we all know the tribunal is going to look at that because of the severity and Darcy going on.
Dacos, a bit of a sidewinder into the attacking 50. Lipinski, intelligent play to Richards. Cox beaten to it by Rivers, Langdon. They're bottled in here and boxed in even. Little opportunity. Had to go and get it. McVie was under severe pressure. Howes got it away nicely. He had a Gorn.
Spilt the mark but had time. Oh, that's not a great kick. Straight into the path of Quainer. Back to Cameron. And very early Ray Chamberlain whistle.
Go that way. Darcy Max.
Picked off again by Nick Dacos. Scrubbing ball inside 50. Tomlinson. Not far enough, so Billings gives it back to Tomlinson. Max gone.
Man.
Held up.
Grab his arm. Stand. Slow. Pile.
What a great kick there from Big Max. Gets over the head of Dan Turner. Now it's going to be brought back in. Johnny Noble. Good mark taken by McDonald. Rivers, not his best. And the Collingwood Heat turns the footy over again. In came Melcham, Neil Bullen. Final game is a demon. Taj Woden, look at the Collingwood pressure. Dacos brings it away.
Like scavengers they were, JB. There's McRae. Dacos another little touch. Again here, beautiful half volley pickup, shot at goal. Poster. Wow, they mauled them. 5 of them attacked him on the wing. And got an opportunity like that.
Good to see Jack Billings starting to look comfortable playing for Melbourne. High draft pick, obviously a lot of time at the Saints. Tolstrup marks that. He's got lots of good attributes, Jack Billings, and he's starting to look like playing for Melbourne suits him. Howes, a high one to Howe, who had to thump in the end. Josh Dacos confronted. Well tackled by Chandler.
What a tackle from Chandler it was. Collingwood away of Chandler. It slipped up there. Gawn. McRae. Josh Dacos to McCreary. Schultz now to a one-on-one. Is this Dacos? It is. With McDonald, and the big fella did him. Tom McDonald won one that he would have been very, very nervous about.
He's had some big wins. He's had Elliott at times. He's had Bobby Hill at times. He's had Dacos. So he's playing on the smalls tonight, Tommy.
Not 15. So Laurie's got to release this. He does. Neil Bullen.
Switch on here.
Goes into the middle instead. With just the one arm, and the turnover now complete. Schultz jams it down the throat of Nick Dacos.
But I mean, you can't defend that. When you turn it over in the middle of the ground, directly in the middle of the ground, 60 metres out from goal. Let's have a look at this again. This is a horrible place to turn it over. You've got no chance of defending that ball coming back in. And Nick Dacos, look at him there, just all alone. 40 metres out, but hard for your defence when you're turning it over in that position.
He already has one. Now he has 2. It's going to be a fascinating Brownlow count, and that man's going to be right in the thick of it.
There's the Brownlow predictor. A lot of ticks on there, Hodgie, and I reckon there'll be another one in round 24 after this game.
100%. 26 touches, 2 goals already. 7 inside 50s. There's definitely going to be a green tick there on Brownlow night.
The red crosses are the buys that Collingwood have had. There's McRae. Taken down by the sub-lorry, so the 2 subs coming together. Cameron. McRae, Chandler. The pressure Collingwood applying at the moment, impressive. Side bottom when he's not preferred, out wide to Elliott. She's a good mark. He is so good overhead, Jamie Elliott.
For his size, he'd nearly be the best, wouldn't he? Overhead. Yeah. I mean, that is a strong mark. You've got a big, strong guy behind you, spoiling you, and you hold on to that.
And yeah.
Pretending he's going to go long. Spots up Nick Dacos here for possession number 27.
He'll have 40 tonight.
Short to Josh Dacos. He's had plenty of it himself.
Wouldn't that be a disaster? He's got another. Mate, they're looking for him, 100%. Anywhere he leads to, whoever's got the ball is looking for number 35.
It was a little obvious, that one.
Dangerous ball for Howe. Turner went to ground, but he gets up. Controlled that nicely. Back to Tolstrup. He was unable to control a pretty difficult ball. Neil Bullen did nicely. Tolstrup back to Neil Bullen, but he's getting tackled. He's able to release the hands to Chandler. Chandler inside 50, and that's good. Marked by Disco Turner.
He readjusted his positioning really well there, Turner. He was involved in a contest up on half forward, got back, got himself into the right position again. So he's got some really natural forward craft about him. Look at him there, he's readjusting back.
Had to bide his time, Richo. He's been on the Melbourne list for a while and now earning a regular spot. Good athlete, big frame, 3 last week for him. He's coming back nicely. He's got it. Some joy there for Melbourne fans. Turner gets his first. Fresh haircut.
Yeah, he's trimmed that up, JB. Friday night lights.
Lived with my brother and sister-in-law. He passed our hosting position earlier on and said, "What do you think? Nice and tight?"
Starting to really make a name for himself now, Turner. Nice kick as well, good size. Oh, it's bigger than I thought he was standing out on the ground pre-game.
Yes.
JB, 194 centimetres, but he's got good size about him as well. So they're the exciting things, BT, for Melbourne.
Simon Goodwin there, another coach. Happy 54th birthday to former Demon. Luke Beveridge, 42 games he played for the Demons. Lukey. Now to the middle they go with McVie. Remember that, Richo?
I do. Remember playing against him.
Chandler. Little one along the ground. Parker was there initially. Josh Dacos, Jeremy Howe and Lipinski. On the line with an over-top handball. So to get out of it here, Collingwood. Allen was involved. And he'll be involved again here. Kick needs to be good. Schultz is there. Cameron offhand. Side bottom. Streaming through. Very unselfish. Probably should have gone for home. He was looking for Bobby Hill. He might still do. Touch off the boot by a desperate Tom McDonald.
You're right, BT. Too unselfish there. Still running through 46, 47. He's a beautiful kick.
That's why he's a loved teammate, though.
Exactly.
He's always got the
team orientated.
Yep.
Your kick.
Christian Salem. Petty. Got the run of Melcham. Cozzy Pickett's got to come at this because Howe's ahead of him. Just edged him under the footy. Now he's got players out everywhere. Tolstrup gets on the end of it.
Jeremy's not too happy with that. He went across to the umpire, was just wondering, was it a push in the back? Great effort by Tom McDonald. You're right, Joey's had a tough job being on all the small forwards for Collingwood. This is what Jeremy Howe was just asking about. Was it he felt a little bit of a nudge, but it seemed like it was in the contest from Cozzy. He reacted quicker. Set this shot up.
Colton Tolstrup, part of the future of the Melbourne Footy Club. That looks good. It is good. Already got cult figure status. Only played 9 games prior to tonight. Had the headband on at various stages. What about this unit, Richo? They love him. Fans love him. They love him at the club. Just a young fella, but got some sizzle.
He has. Top figure. His hair looks glued on. It's a good head of hair. It's got a bit of Buddha hocking about it. Remember Buddha back in the 90s?
Yeah, it has. A little bit of Ben Brown.
Benny Brown, he grew it out a bit more.
Whiskers. Little one out of here. Gorn, taken over by his own man, I reckon, in the end.
Wonderful work there by Laurie to get it out. Gorn with a high, horrible kick. It might help Van Rooyen. Jeremy Howe with the spoiled pick. It was the front and centre. He's so good at it. Quainer, the dribbler, out wide. Richards had to turn his man Woden around, and he did, and Woden hung on. It's the only way he could stop him. Good free kick in the end, because Richards was away. Noble right in front of the Shane Warne stand. Southern State at the G. I believe we might be getting some rain in the last quarter, Richo. Had plenty before the game. Fox. Oh, he hit his head. Gee, he did. It's all right.
Very well overhead there.
Cameron pushing forward on Gorn. He has done all night. Kicked 2 goals, Darcy Cameron.
Noble.
Max taking the space in front of him.
Josh Dacos on, but misses him. Langdon can go on a fast break. Cozzy Pickett with a heap of room. Penny.
Van
Rooyen's hitting hard. He's got a couple to beat though, so he goes to Tolstrup. Tolstrup. Late smother was absolutely superb. And now the Pies are away.
Pendlebury through the middle. Can they make them pay here? Little ball to Allen. Allen's kick is not so good. Picked up magnificently by Salem. Chandler. Oh, Max. Gorn. Once again. Not a fantastic kick, but it'll work for Petty. Does give time for Lipinski to get there. Do wonder why Max doesn't handball a little more often. He didn't know Schultz was coming then. No, that is true. Josh Dacos here at half-back.
So just 21 points, even though it feels like Collingwood have had so much more control in this game. Helped over the line by McDonald. What do they do with Tommy McDonald? Out of contract? Done enough to keep going at Melbourne?
I think he's been pretty good in the second half of the year down back.
Premiership player, of course, back in 2021. Away come the Magpies. Here he is again. Oh, well done. Oscar Elliott's going to get paid the mark.
Collingwood. No, he's in front.
In the argument, he's crept about 5 metres as well.
Straight to it.
Should have, just talking about defensively, should have punched there. Trying to mark from behind, paid the price.
Taking a long time to get himself set here, Will Oscar Elliott.
Hodgie disagreeing with me, just not prepared to actually say anything.
We'll go around the corner on the left and kick a goal. First of the night for Oscar Elliott after a couple of misses. They're hanging around that 25, 26, 27 point margin.
Melbourne are just staying with it. In the stoppage, they need to be more physical, but that one there, I actually like him trying to take that mark. As a key defender, he's outsized on Hoskin Elliott. Probably let Hoskin Elliott get to the front position, as you said, but I don't mind the mindset to try and take it.
Did he just release a little bit too early?
But Hoskin is just a crafty forward and knows where to get to the right time.
Oh boy, Roger just softening up. Imagine if he was the skipper out there with that one. Here is McVee through the middle of the ground. Neil Bullen
Billing for the free Maynard. Quainer under pressure to pick it up. Missed it. Will get a second go. Nifty little ball. Deliberate ball to Lipinski. Spinning Pirro. Got him out of trouble momentarily, and Quainer deliberately over the line. And Razor,
he's onto it
with that Acme Thunderer whistle, says that is definitely deliberate.
He wasn't letting that go. He was going straight for your team. Take off.
Rivers, 100th game, goes to Gawn. It gets past him. Langdon, boot to ball, but no accuracy attached and thumped through.
Would your chair racer off tonight, BT? Oh, yeah, you could. You go down and do it. I reckon you and Hodgie should go down and do it. You were part of his career.
Looking from that angle there, I reckon it was a little bit harsh there, Queen. But Ray, that might be his last chance of a deliberate. Had to do it in front of the big crowd.
Oh, it's very theatrical. The whole deliberate cause is fantastic. Parker's short kick to Isaac Quainer.
Apologies, insufficient. Intense.
Insufficient. All I know, BT, is the free kick counts 14-5 as we speak. If that was the other way,
there'd be a bit of yelling.
This Collingwood crowd.
It would be.
Would be all over Ray and his mates.
Nothing says it has to be even, of course. There's another one. 15. Yep. Allen inside. Elliott with those good hands. Thought about playing on. Took a step. Did he go off the mark? No, says the umpire. Kicked one from similar angle. Perhaps a little further out this time. He was out for good portions of the year as well. Elliott, I think he was out for 9 weeks in total. One goal, one tonight. Good looking ball, just offline.
Imagine Richo if his body had allowed him a proper run at it, Jamie Elliott. He's a superstar anyway, but he's just missed so much footy.
I mean, the continuity is where you play your best. When you're playing week in, week out, you get into rhythm, and has had a lot of times where he's had to miss big chunks.
Well, Chil just goes off the ground. Fritz has had a quiet one. Schultz just gets the kick away. It's a bit of a sidewinder. Rivers, handball to Viney. He couldn't control it. Collingwood numbers everywhere. Noble on the up to Schultz. Allen. Parker with a couple of bounces. Straighten up and kick a goal, young man. He has, and it's his first in the big time. The former leg spinner has now kicked an AFL goal. Great moment for Will Parker.
Equal biggest lead of the match, 33 points here. Will Parker was mentioned he was a leg spinner, JB. Did he have a good wrong one? Was he a real tweaker of it?
More a white ball operator.
Right.
But great that he got to kick it to the Shane Warne stand end. Warne would be looking down saying that's the way.
6-6-6 Warney against Melbourne. Throwing it up, guys.
Umpire Lee Fisher. Fox went early. Still able to out jump. Henry. The little give and go. Gets back onto the left boot. Wasn't far enough in front of Bobby Hill. McCreary gave it up early to Lipinski. Got a little bit of time. Side bottom busting through. Melbourne under real pressure. Woden smothered by side bottom. Little fake. Twisty turn. Viney got him. Well done by Jack Viney.
Recommitted to the club for 4 years. Warrior he has been for Melbourne. Handball from Maynard finds Pendlebury. Rare turnover. Salem, speaking of turnovers, Well, that'll do it. Three-quarter time. 33-point lead for Collingwood.
All right, folks, three-quarter time here. Pies looking reasonably good. 12-8-80 leading Melbourne 7-5-47. The Pies putting on there 4 goals 3 to Melbourne's 3 goals 1. A little bit better there. The Pies, of course, they took the foot off the accelerator a little bit and gave Melbourne a couple of opportunities, but then stepped it up again and got those goals. Good stuff. Maggie's doing well. Helen's there. She's cheering on the Pies. Good stuff. Good stuff. Welcome. Good stuff. All the Go Pies is welcome here. And of course, if you're a Demon supporter, that's fine as well. Of course, both teams. Hey, Paul, what's going on? You came at the right time, Sky. You came at the right time. That's what we're talking about. Might be here to see the final victory of the Pies for the 2024 season. Good stuff. They're doing it well. Absolutely in control of this match. What are we, 33 points up? Let's just have a little bit of a look at the percentage, the live percentage there, the ladder. That's what we're looking at here, Paul. They needed to probably win by 150 odd points, 200 points to really boost that percentage, because they're still 8.9% behind Carlton on the percentage. So they've actually made up 1.7% in percentage so far this evening, but it's probably not going to be enough for the Pies to get a crack at the finals. This season, unfortunately, would have been nice if we, made it even 80, 90 points victory and then, still give us a chance with a margin if Carlton sort of got beat, because I couldn't see Hawthorn going down this week. But nonetheless, it's a good way that they're going to finish the season off. Let's have a look at the stats now for three-quarter time, and of course, it's the champion, Nick Dacos. I think he'll definitely poll votes for the Brownlow in this game, whether it's him or Josh Dacos. His brother Josh is, hey Harvey, how you going? Collingwood is winning. There's the score there. It's Collingwood at three-quarter time, 12-8-80 leading Melbourne, 7-5-47. That's the score at the moment. We're 3 minutes away from the bounce of the ball to the final quarter of the season for these two teams. Lipinski there on 22, 100 plus for sure, Mike. Let's go. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Tell you what, it'd have to be one hell of a quarter. I think they'd have to kick very, very straight to make that margin, but you never know. Still side bottoms going all right there. Jack Billings, 14. There was a Jack Viney. He's down on 10. I think I just heard the commentator say that he's signed to Melbourne for the next 2 to 4 years. We'll show the ladder in just a moment. Just give me a sec. I'm just running down these stats just for the folks out there who like to replay or watch this live for the stats of the players. I'll slowly take that back up again so we can see all the stats. It's a little bit skewy. Let's actually have a look before we just head to the ladder. Let's have a look at the goal kickers, and of course Pickett there for Melbourne leads away for them. He's the only multiple goal scorer for Melbourne with 2. Bobby Hill, Nick Dacos, Darcy Cameron got 2 for the Pies. Van Rooyen, Turner, Thorslop, side bottom Richards, Will Parker, Lipinski, Will Hoskin Elliott, Jamie Elliott, Chandler. I tell you what, there's a host of goal scorers here. Jack Billings, they're all single goal scorers. All right, let's just have a quick look at the AFL fantasy points. Nick Dacos, 126, Lipinski, 100, and the rest under that. Quick look at the season ladder. That is the live ladder there, folks. That is the live ladder. Me too, Harvey. That's where I'm watching it. I'm watching the game on KO. Should be pretty good. There's a good coverage on KO, the footy, so that's all right. But that is the live ladder. We started off on 100.1%. and now up to 101.8%. So as I said, still 8.9%. Percentage is pretty big. That's pretty much a game in that percentage there. So that's why they needed such a big margin to win tonight, and hopefully one of the other teams to lose. I was thinking that too, Paul. That 3-point loss to Sydney definitely come back and bite us in the butt, especially if one of those 3 teams lose on the weekend, whether it's Western Bulldogs, Hawthorn or Carlton. If one of those teams lose, then that Sydney loss will definitely hurt, because the Pies are playing pretty good football, and they would have been in there with a little bit of a chance anyway for the finals had they have made it. But yeah, I was thinking the same thing, not too far away. Are you streaming all the games tomorrow? I pretty well should be just about all the games, I think, tomorrow. I just want to double check. I think one of the games is reasonably close. I think the only game I won't do tomorrow, the games I will do tomorrow, I think, will be Hawthorn, North Melbourne. Unfortunately, I'll have to do Richmond and Gold Coast, and probably Sydney, Adelaide. I think the time for the Geelong West Coast game, that will bump into the next game. So if I do the Geelong West Coast, I'll only be able to do 2 games. So if I do the Hawthorn North Melbourne and skip Geelong West Coast, I'll get 3 games in. That being said, I'll have to do Richmond and the Suns, which is going to be really a dead rubber there, but a game that'll cover. And Sydney and Adelaide, because I think Brisbane Lions and Essendon will be on free-to-air TV, so people can see it. So Sydney, Adelaide will be just streamed on KO and like that. All right, let's get back down to the ground for the final quarter. It's the Pies by 33.
Without any injuries.
Slapped by Cameron through. Come the Demons with no real penetration. Laurie it was, and now it's off the ground. And McDonald, can't get any more obvious.
Yeah, he knows that time. Where are you at with the bounce speed, too? Some people want it gone. No, I'm happy to see it bounce after a goal and start of the quarters. Why not? Absolutely. Let's keep something, for goodness sake.
So Hoskin Elliott, heavy rain.
Just go on the drop punt. Sanitise everything we do.
Looks like his eyes were darting in board. Now it's outside of the boot, and it's shallow.
It's not meant to bounce straight either, the Aussie Rocks footy. It's an oval-shaped football, Richard. It's funny that, and we should expect that it's going to bounce in awkward positions. And even those that learn to bounce it properly like the umpires do, it's still a very tough gig, that is for sure. Salem out wide, good mark taken by Max Gore in these conditions. Coming back inside, got it in the hands of their best distributor by foot. This could be intercepted here. It is Hoskin Elliott. Collingwood run forward. Schultz is there, so is Elliott. In the meantime, Crisp looking for the left foot. Schultz pointing to the pocket. Elliott waiting for a few more troops to arrive. Gets the ball in long and deep. Wasn't his best kick, and taken here by Chandler.
Short option is Tomlinson. Just joining us, for Collingwood to have any chance of playing in September, they had to win this game by 100 points or more, and then they needed Carlton to lose by 100 points or more, so very, very unlikely anyway. Now, in the rain, it's going to be tough. Allen inside, beautifully done for Elliott. Game number 2 for Ed Allen.
17th mark inside forward 50. So they've really missed Jake Lever tonight. The laid out, he organises everything. He's the interceptor.
Actually turned up to the ground, we heard, but a bit of gastro, so he was sent home immediately as Elliott, for his second in this term, hasn't had the accuracy. It's kept in, and then Rivers sees it out.
Wet MCG. 400 days return till next year's grand final. Which of these sides is going to be better placed come next year, do you think?
Oh, good question, BT.
Well, that's what we do.
Collingwood, this is going to be the group going around again. They've all re-signed. No one's retiring. I reckon they've got one more tilt in them, the Pies.
So you think they'll be better placed come finals next year than Melbourne?
No, I think Melbourne can bounce as well. I mean,
Which one, Richard?
well, I think look who's out for Melbourne tonight. If you get Oliver with a full pre-season, if Petrarca can get back, you get Lever and May back in, you don't give up 17 marks. Sparrow's in their best 18.
Question.
I think Melbourne can bounce back and play finals.
Okay, and you said the same for Collingwood, so you're putting them both on the fence.
Absolutely. I'm saying they both can play finals next year.
See if I can get a better answer out of Hodgie in a moment. Here's Hoskin Elliott. Little one here, Hodgie. Which team will be further advanced at the end of 2025?
Collingwood, for me. I reckon if they have a full list with their forward line structure, when they've got a full forward line, they are elite at keeping the ball and they're really efficient. I just think their injuries have got a hold of them this year. So mine would be Collingwood BT.
Gone. Down to Crisp.
Was that a bit better?
That's much better.
Cheers.
Much more definitive.
In saying that, I think Collingwood do need another lockdown defender.
Do you think Melbourne can play finals next year, Luke?
I tipped him for top 4 this year. Richard, how'd that go?
Allen.
Not well.
McRae. Side bottom. Gets out of the Viney tackle. Back to McRae.
I mean, Collingwood end up on 52 points tonight. I mean, that gets you in the finals pretty much every year.
400 days until 2025. It's 765 until the following grand final. Will Richmond be there, Richard?
Well, you never know, BT. Still, you never know.
It's hard getting a really straight answer out of him at the moment.
I did a ladder predictor about 7 weeks ago that had Collingwood, Carlton and Essendon in the top 4. Yeah. So what would I know?
I think we all did that, to be fair. Rain shooting down here, MCG.
I feel for Melbourne, there's a lot of question marks over the midfield. Can Oliver get back to the football that he was? That's a serious injury from Petrarca. Can he get back to full fitness? Rayshaw's been a massive loss for him, retiring at the start of the year. That's been the motor room that's got them into the top 4 the last 3 or 4 years.
Dacos, 31 touches, sold some foot candy on Jack Viney, the straightening high ball. Not his best kick, Hoskin Elliott. Crisp on his left, just a little chiseler. Misses.
I mean, there's plenty of improvement in Melbourne's forward line, though. Next year, Van Rooyen will be better. And Turner will be better.
Rivers. Handball gets through. Howes. To Hoare and now Jake Melcham. A long one. Petty one out. Ground level ball should suit Noble. Cameron did nicely to get it to Lipinski. Richards pursued by Chandler. And Tomlinson in front of Elliott seeks the line.
Scott Pendlebury tonight, 403rd game, joins the great Kevin Bartlett in 4th all time and chasing down Sean Burgoyne 407 and then Tuck at 426. Could get Tuck if they play a lot of finals next year, but highly unlikely, I would suggest.
Yeah, mate, yours in.
Laurie out the back. Little one here. Extremely unlikely to get to 426 next year, but it is possible for Scott Pendlebury.
Oh, a bit of lightning.
Boomer on 432. We stopped last time there was lightning, I think, did we not? This may well stop this game.
We'll keep an eye on it. The AFL will be in control. Turner. The turnover. And the finish. Missing.
Not seeing the umpires talk yet, JB, together.
It's only been that one.
One's enough though, Richo.
It's a bit of thunder too there.
And out wide here, Schultz, running for the miracle in very tough conditions. Over the line it goes. There's the umpire officials talking about this now, and Chelsea Roffey, one of the goal umpires in front, AFL officials in the back row, and they can communicate, if necessary, via the umpires through to the umpires. Umpires in the stand can talk to the umpires on ground. There's Bullen, Nick Dacos, Pendlebury, Cox, Chris, greasy ball now by Woden.
Imagine these 44 footballers, Joe, eyeing the line, thinking we've got 13 minutes left, and then suddenly there's a delay of game.
An absolute disaster, that is.
McCreary, floating ball forward. Schultz, well done. Greasy ball, off to McRae. Lipinski. Fritsch tries to close him down. Noble to Pendlebury.
So this is a situation, BT, they're allowed to be speaking to the umpire on the bench with them.
Well, yeah, they don't like to speak to the umpires during the game, so they can do it.
But only in these sort of situations.
Yeah.
They can't be coached.
Yeah, no, that's correct, yeah. I don't think they want to be coached.
Heavy conditions and a wet ball. This is going to take some kicking. He wants someone to come at him. He does, but it doesn't quite get there. Langdon. Dispossessed. Noble. Gets around Chandler just. Handball to Schultz. And he is smacked in a tackle from Hoare. And a throw. It's not going to be a goal.
Razor said he went down, and Razor with that steel chrome-plated whistle's in danger of being struck, Richo. But he was very adamant about the decision then against Lockie Schultz, and I think he was right. He said that Schultz went down at the knees, that's why the tackle slipped high, and the throw was a definite. Out the back here, 2-on-1, Tolstrup. Doing the work on Dean. That's the 3. Got a good argument there, I reckon.
Still got him high, though.
Yep.
That's his last game. Let him go.
Gee, Hodges running thin on patience. These guys.
He's worried about a lightning delay, Hodgie.
Yeah, Bullen. Head over the footy here.
Ball. Thanks, Jack.
Umpire Lee Fisher.
Max.
Laurie.
Play on, not 15.
Far enough, so Josh Dacos has got to go. He's confronted, gets it off to the smooth-moving Pendlebury into the middle. Great ball for Hill. And he is off. Mason Cox ahead of him, gives it back to Bobby Hill. Gives it to Schultz. And Schultz misses the lot.
Probably a little bit like the side, 1-on-1. Probably too selfless. Saw his teammate by himself. Probably should have had a shot.
If you squared up and run him straight at goal, unless it's an absolute certainty, you kick it, don't you?
It's a much better option than someone with his back to goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Advantage.
Rich little ball here to Laurie. Nice to Melcham. The fists of fury. Through the middle to the running Tomlinson. Tomlinson go over the top, and he does. Opportunity for the left-footed Chandler. Won't be a goal, but it could be a gone mark. No, too heavy. Pouring rain here at the MCG. These sides have got 11 minutes of footy left to go. Hard to believe the 2023 reigning premiers versus the 2021 premiers. Surprisingly, neither will be part of the 24 final series. That is hard to get your head around.
Lipinski's got Noble on, gets to him.
Well, everyone who did a top 8 would have had both these teams at the start of the year. So, big surprise in such an even year. You can get to 52 points and not play finals.
Expertly done by Elliott. Gets it to Jack Crisp. No, you could have named your own odds. After Collingwood were a kick out of the 22 grand final, won the 23 grand final. If it started wandering around in February saying they're going to miss the lot, no one would have agreed with it. It's been a weird year. The resilient crisp. Even in the wet, that's going to be good enough. First goal of his final term.
Here we go.
They're calling it.
Here we go. This could be game off here. Umpires are getting the word. Lightning. I think this game is going to be called to a halt.
Guys, going to stop the game for Lightning. Head to the rooms, please. We're heading to the rooms. Head to the rooms.
So the game has been stopped for Lightning. Players have been told by the umpires to head to the rooms, and I think it might even be a mandatory 20 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah, that's
stop. So no more action for 20 minutes here. Just having a look at the rules. If Lightning is within 10k, then the game will pause. Players and officials will return to the change rooms for 20 minutes. You can read it for yourself there. And then beyond that. So this has just got to the stage where players would have thought they'd got through the entire season. Even Razor Ray, in his last game, is going to come out and warm up again. So what a disaster for these players, really. No one. What do we have left? 9:31 left in the season.
You can see the look on the players' face. They just want it to be finished. Both teams know their season's done.
See Max Braun in the middle with the umpire. He sort of was questioning it, going, come on.
Well, yeah. You can understand it's all about the players' safety, but you feel for the players. They just want it done and dusted. They want to finish up.
So what's the longest you can have the delay for?
I think, did I read 40 minutes?
40.
I think so, with Joan. Gary Bird there, of course, the CEO.
Can both teams go and say, well, you can't make finals, happy to pull the pin? Can
Wave the white flag, you're saying, Hodgie? Yeah, well, I don't think they can legally, but you'd feel like it. That would be the feeling in both rooms at the moment.
Take 2 points.
The first class cricket match where the two captains just walk up against. We've had enough.
Yeah.
That'll do. No chance of a result.
I am thinking with this pouring rain here at the moment that when they come out in 20 minutes, there may well not be too many left here. A lot of people deciding to pack up and go home. And I guess these teams, Rich, I'd be treating this like a three-quarter time, half-time break, I guess.
Yeah, to get with their line coaches and...
What would they discuss at this stage?
I don't think the structures would be vitally important at this point.
Clayton Oliver there.
Remember the scoreboard in 1999, the last game of the year, caught on fire,
yes.
Richmond and Carlton?
I do.
There was talk that night that perhaps while they were off the ground and the fire was being put out, that it may have to be played the next day. And the injured players in the grandstand were like...
Of which you were one.
I was one, and we're like, surely not. It's going to waste a little night on the town if we have to come back tomorrow.
Well, safety first, I guess.
I always find it interesting in these situations that the safety of the players is obviously paramount. What about the crowd?
Yeah.
They're equally exposed to lightning, and no one really worries about them too much.
That's very true. Very true. A lot of them back undercover and heading out now. Physios and masseurs will be working overtime.
So it's like the meteor. What is it? The meteor, the bomb.
Yep.
Do they have to ring through and give you the all clear, do they?
I'm not sure who rings through from the
Bureau,
Richo.
That is heavy rain we're seeing now. That is thumping down. Taking shots at the Melbourne rooms.
So just while we've got a moment, Richo, just thinking about Christian Petrarca and what is it that you and Hodgie think that he's got to do?
All right. So we have got a 20-minute delay due to lightning. And as a couple of you folks in the chat there were saying, in the game. I know. I probably agree. I don't know why they just don't end it now and just call it quits. I don't think there's a chance. Finals for either team here. And of course, they've got 9.5 minutes left of the fourth quarter to go. So they've got a delay of 20 minutes total. I think there's about... The clock is counting upwards. I don't know why that is. It should be counting downwards. Anyway, it's there. So at about, probably about 17 minutes until they come back. Power outage. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes this site gets a little bit stuck for updating it, etc. like that. So I'm not sure why that's counting up, but we'll let you know when they come out. But I think it's mandatory they go in and they sit a 20-minute delay. I'm pretty sure we've seen this happen once or twice before. I think when there's lightning within 10 kilometres of the ground, I think they, pause the game and, there you go. And go and sit it out for 20 minutes until it bypasses. I'm not sure. If I had a quick look at the full forecast here, let me just pull this over here a little bit. Open map. Let me try and hit the radar. I'm just trying to find the radar a little bit. Well, there we go. I don't know whether I can find it any better than that. But there's Melbourne there. So the MCG is roughly where the O is. Say around about where the O is. There's lightning on the outskirts, so it's there, and the rain is coming. Now I'm not 100% sure if the rain's coming this way or if the rain's going that way. Is there no, I can't replay that, so that is that. So we'll have to keep a check on that, which way the rain's going. Radar. There we go. So the rain, well, it's just a mild type of rain. It was that girl umpire that called it cancelled. Yeah, I think it's actually the umpires that are off the ground. There must be certain people there that actually make that call. I don't think it's the umpires that are actually on the ground that make that call. I think it's someone in the box, maybe a fifth umpire or something like that, so to speak. Follow the directions. Arrows, flows, downfall. Okay, there we go. There we go. Clouds, humidity, visibility, sea level, dew point, air quality, severe lightning. All right, so the lightning is there. So that's pretty close. That is why. Hopefully it won't be too far. I can't see any arrows there though. That's the only problem. I can't see any arrows there. Perception. Yeah, there we go. That's all right. No worries at all. As I said, hopefully that all clears up and they'll be back out with no further delays. The crowd are still out in the weather. They probably are. I think, I don't know, some of them, you know what? Possibly some of the Melbourne supporters will disappear. Lightning is delayed to play the MCG with 9:31 remaining on the clock in the final quarter. I'm just reading what it says on there. So there we go. But yeah, I think that lady umpire, I think she got word from, I'm just out of Melbourne. Just out of Melbourne. I think she got it relayed to her, and then she let the others know to stop the game. Yeah, I just saw that on the replay. You never seen anything like this in the game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've seen it. I think I've seen this over in Adelaide happen before, and there was somewhere else, I think, where the lightning comes and they've just got to be off. I think, you know what, I think at that time, that game
must start within an hour. We stopped the game at 9:56. It's 10:05 now. So it's at the discretion of Laura Kane, the AFL's executive boss of football, when this game restarts, in consultation, of course, with the Weather Bureau when it's safe. The warm-up then will be between 5 or 8 minutes. So we were here when Tom Hawkins' 350 was interrupted in round 3 by severe weather. That was by 46 minutes, and then they played out the entire quarter. Thankfully, no players were injured in that one. And then, of course, round 1 last year, where the underground cable fault meant that the Melbourne-Brisbane game was interrupted. I think we saw it was a Melbourne roared home when Brisbane had a significant lead, didn't change the course of the game. Of course, this one's a dead rubber. The only thing we care about in 9.5 minutes is all the players being safe and Nick Dacos racking up 3 Brownlow votes. But, yep.
Yeah, there we go. There were the other ones. So that other game, I think he just said that they were delayed for like 40 minutes or so. So hopefully that definitely doesn't happen here. We want to hope that weather clears over and the lightning goes, because that is the only issue. It happened for Geelong and Hawthorn Easter Monday this year. Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, I thought it happened recently. I just couldn't quite remember where that was, Harvey. If they didn't stop the clock, the time would just run out. I tell you what, it'd be nice though if it just did run out, because I don't know whether anyone wants to come back after this delay, especially the players. Can you imagine the players? You know, that's like, you know, going out for a fifth quarter, for half a quarter, you know, in the rain, when, well, there's nothing really much to play for now, because their percentage, if we have a look at their percentage, the live ladder as they stop, well, actually up to 102.2. So they've actually put on 2.1% with their lead so far, 8.5% behind Carlton. That's just too big a margin. So if we think that this is 41 points up, and they actually made 2.1%, what's that, 4 times that, 40, it's 160 points. So yeah, Carlton have to lose by probably more than 160 points. So it would have been good if we could have won by a bigger margin. How long? 20 minutes? Yeah, the delay was 20 minutes, so that's going on about 9 minutes ago now. So it's probably about another 10 or 11 minutes, I would say. But it's still bucketing down, raining at the footy. I can't hear the commentators, so I'm not sure what's happening. The rain is expected to stop in 22 minutes. There we go. I mean, it's okay if it keeps raining. It's just the lightning. That is the only reason they stopped the game. It is, of course, the lightning. So that is the only reason. But where is it? There it is. So I'm not sure which way. Maybe the lightning's heading towards Melbourne. I'm just trying to look on the. They used to be on the weather charts. Oh, maybe I can see it there. 9. I'm just having a look at the weather charts there. So the rain. That's exactly right. It looks like there's more rain coming. That looks like that green band of rain is coming. So if we have a look at Melbourne there, at 8:30, 9:30, and a bit more, it's coming. So it shouldn't take too long before it passes, hopefully. Yeah, because we want to get this game done and done. Lick your finger and stick it out the window. I tell you, it's not raining. It's not raining where I am at the moment, Paul. So I can expect a little bit of rain to come my way. Most weather is west to east in Victoria. How long has it been since it started? I think it's been about 11 minutes. This delay for about 11 minutes so far. So we'll see. Crazy weather. Verks, how you going? You're not wrong. It's crazy. I'll be glad to see the back of winter. Oh, you're at Shepparton. Oh, you're at Shepparton. How's your weather going up there? Oh, wow. Wow. That's where you are there, Shepparton, right there. You got a lot of lightning happening around you at the moment. Holy moly! Yeah, stay safe. Don't be around trees or go out and lawn mow outside your house while we are waiting. I actually cut the back lawn a couple of days ago. I actually did that a couple of days ago. Thank goodness for that, because if it's going to come down raining, it'll be a little bit wet for a while. And it's loud. I can only imagine the lightning looks pretty much on top of Shepparton now. Yeah, make sure you stay safe and yeah, probably not under any big tin roofs or something like that, or standing under the trees getting out of it. You just never know. I tell you what, you never know where the lightning's gonna come. Especially, I've heard the lightning come and it strikes the ground and it feels like it's been within 100 or 200 metres where it's hitting, and yeah, it's holy moly. Yeah, she's loud when it hits the ground. It's loud when it hits the ground. Let's just have a look at these stats of the players while we're going. And of course, Josh Dacos, 33, with his brother Nick Dacos, 32. I'm pretty sure they'll both poll in this game for the Brownlow votes. I know what's going on over there. I love thunder and lightning. What's going on over there? I don't know. So there we go. We'll just run through the stats while we've still got about probably 8 minutes to go, 7 minutes to go. So yeah, just some of the commentators are having a little bit of a chin wag about this game, so I can probably put it back on there, and it's going to have to come back on. It will not too far away. Hopefully, because we want to get this game done. Stephen Dean, how you going? Magpies leading here by a bit of a margin. Just slowly going through the stats. And of course, Darcy Moore was subbed out due to concussion with the high hit from Pickett. So he went out. I think that was the second quarter when he went out. The AFL app just released something about the weather. Oh, okay. So you reckon they'll continue this game? The goal scorers are just that. There is the goal scorers there, folks. If you want to have a look at the goal scorers. Yeah, can I hear anything?
And contest the ball, but you're not allowed to do that anymore because.
No, nothing yet. All right, so I'm just starting to feel a little bit of rain here. Fantasy points, Nick Dacos up to 136, Josh 115, Lipinski 115, all the rest under that. Let me just put it back on there. All right, you reckon the AFL app have just... Have a little bit of a look, see whether we can see anything. Yeah, as I know, they've got something there to say that D stopped due to lightning. Yeah, that's about all at the moment there. We haven't got a start time yet, but we'll certainly wait for the commentators to let us know, or if we see any movement in the rooms of the players. Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, they'll definitely have to continue. I'm sure of... Where's that weather map? Where's that weather? It looks like there's still a little bit of lightning around Melbourne at the moment. Although it is starting to drift away. The lightning was up here, I think, before, and now it's sort of drifting away. So I think by the time it's up, I reckon they'll be nearly right to come back out on, hoping there's no extra delays there with... Well, that lightning's in Eltham, so that's a fair way. That's a fair way from Melbourne. So... it all seems pretty clear around Melbourne, but I think this rain front is coming across the footy. All right. We might as well go back and we'll just listen to a bit of the commentators, what they have to say. All right. Sound good, folks? Sounds good. This might take until midnight. I hope not. There is always a chance that it could be a 40-minute delay, but let's hope that is not the case. Let's hope after probably about another 6 minutes or so, they'll get us back out onto the ground. But the commentators, they'll probably be up to date with that. So we'll listen in to see what they say for a little bit while we're waiting.
Prove that that Cozzy Pickett, his actions were unreasonable in the circumstances, that a reasonable player would not have done what he did, and try proving that.
Yeah, no, it's tough. It's very tough.
Should the tribunal, it's not tribunal, I suppose the tribunal, should they be allowed to watch it in slow-mo?
Oh, they can watch any angle at any speed they want in the end of it.
Yeah, I know, but you're much less. You're going to be a much harsher judge in slow-mo.
Depends.
I think you get a better read in slow-mo.
Depends what suits your case.
I think the quick time gives you a picture clearly.
So they're talking about the hit from Pickett from Melbourne on Darcy Moore that put him out of the game with concussion.
I don't think we'll ever be in a world where the outcome isn't taken into account, unfortunately, and the player who was, in this case, Cozzy Pickett, is performing the action. You do leave yourself open. I don't think it should be suspended because I think the contribution from Darcy Moore was greater than what it should have been.
We've also just indicated how hard it is to adjudicate these sorts of issues. Let's go back to Jono for an update at the MCG. Jono, please, tell us something good.
Oh, well, a minute and a half, both clubs will find out exactly from the AFL what the next steps are, and hopefully that is players can start their warm-up, get back out on the ground, 5 minutes to warm up, and we can complete the final 9 minutes of the game. So hopefully in the next short period of time, guys, we'll have an answer for you so the players can get going and finish this game.
Nice, clear. I'm told the rain's cleared. Not look at that. That's still there a little bit, but hopefully we'll take a break. We'll take a break, and hopefully on the other side of the break we'll have some good news for you, and the recommencement won't be too far away. Still plenty to come this year on Fox Sports.
All right, so there we go. So they will know in about a minute and a half what's happening. Hopefully the players will do their 5-minute warm-up, and we'll get the final 9.5 minutes of this quarter done and dusted and get this game completed. If it does get worse, I'll fall asleep. I know what you mean. We're all hanging on for the final half of this quarter. We want to see this game play out. It's just unfortunate that there was only that short a time left, 9.5 minutes in the game left. The Lightning came, and of course, the players got told, unfortunate fellas, we've got to leave the ground. It's all due to safety, I suppose, but I don't know, 10 kilometres is still a fair way away, but I suppose the safety of the players and the public, that's what they need to know. I suppose a lot of the public there, with all the rain, they would have just made it up undercover there. Will Pickett get rubbed out? You know what they were saying about Darcy Moore. Should he have gone to ground? But I mean, that's the way he plays anyway. And a lot of the times it's it's not the player that gets hit. Some of the times it's the action on the player that hits that player. Now, they will say, I'm sure in Melbourne's defence, they'll say, well, he was going to bump. He was probably at that height where he could bump shoulders. But then Darcy Moore dropped to his knees to grab the ball. That type of stuff. But then if you are going to go to bump someone, then it's on the player themselves to take that duty of care as a result of their reaction of their actions in the result of the player that they go to bump. So that's what we're being told a lot through the season. If you're going to bump, be warned. If you do cause injury, then you're going to get rubbed out. So. The whole house just shook. My God. Gosh, it must be shocking where you are. You're Shepparton, isn't it? Wow. Holy moly! Hopefully that'll pass pretty well. Hopefully that'll pass reasonably quick there, Verks. Hopefully that'll pass pretty quick. Do you think Dacos will win the Brownlow medal? I tell you what, he's got to be a good chance. He's got to be a good chance. I think last year he had a better season. I think last year he had a better season. How do I say this? I can't think of the word. I can't think of the word. But, like over the whole game, I think last year he was definitely the player. I think, some of the times he's played, 1 or 2 brilliant quarters. Sometimes he's played 4 good quarters. He's played a great game this game. But it was just unfortunate last year, because last year, if he, because he missed the last 3 games of last year, that cost him the Brownlow. He would have won the Brownlow without shadow of a doubt if he hadn't have missed those last 3 games last year. But that being said, he's got to be in with a big chance, and I think it's either going to be Nick or Josh Dacos will get the 3 votes for the Brownlow in this game. I think still side bottoms played reasonably well. Maxi Gawn's done probably the best for Melbourne. Some of the others, Salem hasn't been too bad for Melbourne. Lipinski's been pretty good. Scotty Pendlebury's had a good game, but I think the standouts in this game are probably Dacos, Josh Dacos, Nick Dacos, probably still side bottom. He's had a great game. I think they're some of the ones. Lockie Schultz hasn't played too well. I think he's made a few errors as well. But that being said, good chance for them. Will Hoskin-Elliott, not too bad, although he's only had 8 disposals. He's kicked 1 goal, 3. It wasn't too bad at all. So, so there we go. But yeah, I think the Dacos brothers will poll the 3 and the 2 votes in this game. It's been gone for 40 minutes to the quarter, yeah. Yeah, it's been probably 21 minutes now. So when we come back, we're gonna hear exactly what's going to happen. It's still on the ad break at the moment. When it gets back to the commentators, hopefully we'll have some news that the players will be on their warm-up. We'll get this final 9.5 minutes. I reckon spring has come early, all these storms. You know what, you could be right. It's nice to get out of winter though. But yeah, spring's going to be cold, I think. When will the game start? That's what we're waiting to find out. Let's head back. We'll head back to the commentators in just a second, and we'll see if they've got any updated news when this is going to start. Of course, the Pies leading here by 41 points. 9.5 minutes to go in the final term. Are you watching on Channel 7? They might just cancel it. No, I'm watching on KO. Here we go. Let's go back to the commentators.
Baggers. And then Freo and Port Adelaide with top 4 spots and spots in the 8 all at stake.
Great history too, the Bulldogs and GWS. You're doing that game.
Yeah. Generally hate each other. For a side that's relatively new to the competition, to have a rivalry with another team in such a short space. So they've played some cracking games against each other.
With Hawthorn get the job done against North, which we expect tomorrow, then one of those three teams in the Bulldogs, Carlton or Freo miss finals. So it's all going to happen in the space of 6-7 hours.
And at various stages, they've all been legitimate.
Well, it's certainly unlikely. Only a month ago, wasn't it? You would have said those teams are going to miss the finals. One of those teams, you would have said very unlikely. But
who do you reckon, the Dogs or Giants? It was one of those ones where you might be around the mark in terms of your tipping, so you throw at the stumps.
Depending on the conditions.
Who you got?
I feel like the Giants, for me, if I was saying stop the game, stop the season now, pick a premier, I'd say the Giants.
Right.
I think they've been winning, but they still haven't been playing their absolute best four-quarter footy. I think they've still got a fair bit of improvement, which is dangerous for the competition.
But the matchups, we spoke about it with Sam Darcy, the matchups at the pointy ends of the field are going to be fascinating. Yeah. And we know when you watch a game at Mars, all of the action happens left of screen. So there's going to, but dealing with the breeze, and I presume we're going to get similar conditions to what we normally get, but those matchups will be fascinating.
Let's go back to the MCG. I think we've got some good news. Brad Johnson. Jono, what can you tell us?
Oh, they're smiling again down here, Gary, that's for sure, because in 10:27 the players will go out onto the ground, which is literally in a minute's time, and then they'll spend 5 minutes warming up out on the ground, and then obviously get back into play for the final 9 and a bit minutes. So the players are set, they're warming up inside at the moment, they've still got the music blaring down here, trying to get themselves back into some sort of mode to go and finish this game, Gaz.
Good on you, mate. Thank you, Bradley. 90 seconds, we are told they will run back out onto the deck, and hopefully these last 9 minutes will go incident-free.
At halftime, we were tracking for a bottom 10 total contested possession stat level of a game. I reckon it's going to go even less.
Might go top 5.
We'll have a look at what it ends up at the end of the game. But it hasn't been high contest. It's been open. It's been high transition. It actually hasn't been as high scoring as it possibly could have been.
Yeah, the rain came late, of course, and probably the Maggies didn't take a few of their opportunities. But it was always going to be a pretty tall order. They led by 27 points at quarter time. They absolutely smashed them. They kicked the last 5 goals of the first quarter. At that stage, you thought, hello, something could happen here. But by half-time, Melbourne won the second quarter by 2 points. There's 25 points. It's got out to 41, so they're giving them a good old-fashioned belting, but they're not going to get there in the end. So let's see what happens in those last 9 minutes. We think Nick Dacos is, at this stage, if you're doing the voting, you'd have to have him with the 3, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, no doubt. His numbers have been very good, and he stood out. It's a really interesting round of, obviously we don't know the votes yet, but another 3 weeks. This round could decide the Brownlow. A lot of live chances there. Lachie Neale's game tomorrow night against Essendon. Paddy Cripps, of course, on Sunday afternoon as well, guys. So plenty of live chances still in the Brownlow medal hunt, you would have thought.
I'll tell you what, Razor Ray.
He looks like he needs more than 5 minutes to warm up.
He's going to remember his last game, the champ. Look at him. This is a man that 388 games. This is 389 and last.
It's cruel what they've done to him.
Doomsday scenarios, he nicks a calf in the next night.
Yeah, then he really will get carried off.
The crowd's gone home, guys.
Don't blame him.
What sort of level of contact here? Our old coach Lee Matthews Bucks used to love doing a thing called shadowing, where it's essentially match practice, but you're not allowed to have any physical contact. So I reckon this might more resemble shadowing than a proper game.
I think you might be right too, Brownie. I think they might go out of their way just to shore up Nick the 3, give him the footy, he's kicked a couple of goals, hasn't he? He's kicked the 2 goals already, so he's had a great night. But it's not so much about the Demons. They've been disappointing tonight too. So they will probably be waiting for the 9 minutes to go as quickly as they possibly can.
He's had 32 goals, 8 clearances, 2 goals, 11 scoring goals.
Yeah.
He's got 3.
Who's the next best? Josh.
Well, Josh's got 33, 33, 2 clearances. So he hasn't kicked a goal, but he might get the 2. And Johnny Noble's had a sneaky game.
Yeah, he's been good.
He's been sneaky good.
All credit to the fans that have stayed.
Absolutely.
That's dedication, is it not?
Last game, maybe the last game. They want to farewell their team. That is loyalty to the max. No problem about that. Paddy Lipinski's had a fair bit of footy. Scotty Pender refines it for Phelan. Christian Salem, what's his disposal efficiency been like there, Geordie?
As I feel like a Stuart.
Stuart gets a mention up front. That's how much filling we're doing.
He's gone at 65%. By foot, which I think is being very generous. I think when you kick long to a contest, it's an effective kick. But no, they've been poor by foot.
So here come the Magpies, who have been very good tonight, has to be said. And it's been 9:56 they're off the ground. It's now 10:30, so it's been 34 minutes.
The other benefit too, Nick Dacos, he's only 20 years old, so he's already going to have an advantage over the older.
Would you have the creaky bones coming out of that, would you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Mate. That'd
Who's
be
the oldest
tough. So
player
a
on
young
the ground?
bloke's going to have an advantage for sure.
Oh, Pendles.
Yeah, Pendles and Sidey.
But that's not
It'll take a while to get going, and Razor Ray.
Yeah.
Big Maxi's going to do it tough though, isn't he? Maxi carrying that weight around.
It's interesting. We'll just watch it. We'll watch the next 9 minutes unfold. It'll be interesting to see what happens. They'll all have a crack. They'll hit in and do the best they can, but there's hardly sheep stations.
Just means it'll be a bit later when they get to the nightclub.
How many goals are we going to see in the last 9.5 minutes, Jerry?
All right, and we can have
Over under.
a raffle between keep us interested.
Bit like the Ben Brown run-up pre-game.
We see Mark of the Year in the last 5 minutes, in the last 9 minutes. Pickett, Hill,
Yeah.
Jeremy Howe, Elliott.
No more reportable offences is what I'd be looking for.
Yeah.
Might see one.
Hey,
Hopeful.
Darcy Cameron, I know you've got your All-Australian final meeting on Monday, and the ruck spot's, it's up for grabs for the first time for a while. Max has had a stranglehold on it for a while. Tim English last year, of course, he's not in contention, I wouldn't have thought. Darcy Cameron's had a great night again tonight, but the big fella Max has just butted up again.
Both of these guys were heavily in discussion.
Kicked 2 goals though, Cameron.
Tristan Cherry was another.
Yeah, I think I think Darcy Cameron might have even had his nose in front.
We forget about Brody Grundy's first half of the year was excellent. Yeah, tailed off a little bit. The other ones,
Oscar?
Rowan Marshall and Oscar McInerney. There was heated discussion around the ruck
pretty good crop
position.
for rucks this
Tune in on next Thursday night to find out.
Yeah, big awards night on Thursday night. All-Australian Coaches Association, Rising Star, all that takes place on Fox Footy on Thursday night. It's going to be a big night. There's Maxi, not exactly laying down the law by the looks of the faces of those boys.
Libba.
I know.
His last 9 minutes.
Bailey Fitch for finding a bit humorous. Probably go and get a kick with that. Oh, it's getting late. It's getting late.
Only 40 odd goals for the year.
He's starting to take aim.
Only 40 odd goals for the year.
Getting late, Nathan. Is there an argument here? I'm not sure we're going to see you. About after you too.
It's so hard when the mirror's held up.
Start the game.
Can you get this man
Say
to,
something I'm not supposed to.
can you get this man to 40? Can we just give him the 40? Get him over the line.
He'll get
Maybe
the 40.
another goal.
He'll get the 40. Jack Viney is still side bottoms.
You really tagged the last 9.5 minutes.
Yeah,
Still
tough
up.
line.
No doubt.
50-minute last
Long
quarter.
quarter.
Yeah.
Righto, here we go. Razor Ray got the honour of, he doesn't bounce anymore, Ray, so he throws it up in the air. Away we go. We'll see you in 9 minutes time.
Stop this game now. It's restarted. Langdon inside the centre square. Dribbles it forward. Chandler taken out of it. Dacos finds it straight away and gives it to his brother.
He does, and Josh lays it out onto the wing. Tommy McDonald with a little chiseler. Finds Billings. Billings on the left, down the throat of Isaac Quainer. Big Dacos, a couple of touches already since the resumption. I'm just wondering about the attitude of both teams here, Rich. I know what it'd be like if I was there, but whether it is just a bit of circle work now.
Let's be honest. Last thing you want is anyone getting injured now.
So we're expecting this to be relatively non-contact. Here is Gawn, Langdon, Pendlebury there. Plays on Gawn and kick out wide, and this will be a shot at goal now for Tolstrup.
I reckon the whistle will be going a lot because there'll be a lot of uncontested marks this next 8 minutes.
You can see Collingwood across the half-back line. They've looked to switch and run all game. As they come out, they'll have to go just long down the line where Maxi got that intercept mark.
Tolstrup for his second goal here. Pretty well directly in front. Kick of only 35 metres. Put it across the face a little, but it's still there. He's got his second. Wasn't it the lights out game at Brisbane? Melbourne were playing and they came thundering back after different circumstances, but after the long stoppage.
Yeah, they did. Last 6 or 7 goals, I think, in that one.
Never going to win it.
40 points down, lost by 11.
They did. They came hard at the lines.
They might be the delayed game specialists, the Demons. 40 points down, got back to within a few points when lights out at the Gabba, Richo.
Yeah, that's right. They came out on fire that night. I'm not sure we're going to see that here.
Cameron tumbles it wide. Neil Bullen breaks the tackle. Pendlebury outside of the boot, cleverly too. One that didn't quite get it to Bobby Hill. He thinks it's a mark.
I thought he marked it. That didn't bounce, did it?
So did the Collingwood supporters.
So did Bobby.
That's
Look
a
at
mark.
Yes, it is.
In fairness, the umpire wasn't inside of the ground, but clearly a mark to Bobby.
Viney goes to ground. And Neil Bullen carefully tackled.
You're right, the Collingwood supporters haven't lost their voice. It is a fair effort by them, though, to stick round. That was a long way.
Yeah, Melbourne home game here today. As we said earlier, they've averaged 75,500 with the G this year. Nick Dacos. The knock-on, almost for McRae. Allen hard at it. Melbourne appeal in big numbers. 7 minutes remaining in the season.
Gordon with the left. Dacos. Can't quite get through. Woden a hand in. Allen, the dribbling kick is offline. Second game for Ed Allen.
It's been good too.
Famous old man, Ben. Premiership player with Hawthorn and Claremont in the waffle.
Freo's first captain.
Yeah, you're probably right. Very, very good footballer, Ben Allen. Very shallow throwing. Howes is out in the full. Setting the mark here for Paddy Lipinski.
Thank you.
Razor still directing traffic in his last 6 minutes. That's what's ahead of Paddy Lipinski. Good effort. Brilliant from Lipinski. Got his second. Excellent set shot from the number one.
Love the way he thought his way through that, didn't rush it, knew he could take 4 or 5 metres out. Had enough to bend it back. He's had a really good night tonight. He's had the 27 touches, going to almost 80% by foot. He's kicked the 2 goals tonight.
Six warning against Collingwood. Throwing it up, guys.
Looking to make it 4 wins out of their last 5 games. The Magpies. Neil Bullen. His last game for the Demons. Chris Hill tries to knock it on to the advantage of Schultz. Desperate as always.
Free kick, Melbourne. Stand, please.
We'll chip back into the run of Tom McDonald. Starting to run in waves here, the Demons. McVee advanced it forward without great accuracy. And the mark taken here by Allen. Or Parker, was it? It was the latter.
Yep. Magnificent kick from Lipinski. Great moment since the restart. Running on is Crisp.
Love the smarts there from Richards. Used Nick Dacos as a bit of a decoy just to attract the Melbourne defenders to come up. Found Crisp over the top.
has won in this term, actually, Jack Crisp. Never online, in fact, almost fell for Lipinski. And a ball up.
Any chance, boys, that we're not hearing N. Dacos 3 votes when it comes Brownlow time in this game? Have a think. We'll come back to you in a moment. Here's Crisp trying to bang his way through. There's another one for the Pies. Out to 47 points, and Allen gets his first goal in football. Don't they know it?
This is Chandler here. Just, you've got to creep down. There's no point pushing into defensive 50. You have to get right down on him. Because all it takes is a quick little handball out. And Allen was smart enough to get it to his boot. And once again, we spoke earlier, Collingwood are really good at this, celebrating when a younger teammate gets his first goal. They all get to him. The old man, Ben.
Blue puffer jacket on.
They've won the B&F in Hawthorn's 91 premiership, Ben Allen.
There's his young one. Great handball too. Side bottom, belts it. Schultz. Richards. Misses with the kick. And Neil Bull to Fritsch.
Just on the Nick Dacos beats here. Josh would be a bit of competition for him. He's had 36, Nick's had 37, but the 2 goals. I didn't ask you that, Richo. Yeah, he'll get the 3.
To Tolstrup.
Would it be a disaster? Brownlow night, if his brother gets the 3, gets a 2 and it costs him.
I think the 2 goals.
There's Tolstrup missing with the handball and Petty. It's actually a huge weekend from a Brownlow point of view. Chandler. Squaring ball doesn't work. We've got Cripps playing against the Saints. Bont and Neil are alive as well. Merritt, Sarong. It's going to be a fascinating count, BT.
Well, that sort of happened with their best and fairest last year at Collingwood when Josh Dacos won it just ahead of Nick when everyone expected Nick to win it. Same thing happened. Noble. 3.5 minutes left. Cameron. Who's been the better ruckman out of those? Gawn led the way in that department in terms of ruck work, Hodgie.
Yeah, I think the 2 goals to Cameron's probably put him just ahead, but both of them are...
And for the season?
Oh, for the season, I've got Gawn as my All-Australian ruck.
Right.
I thought he's played on... he's been consistent all year. Yes, he's had an injury, but I've got him down as an All-Australian ruck for me.
Dacos, both of them there. Side bottom. Going again next year. Neil Bullen. Interesting to watch after this game. So many players uncertain of their futures. Melksham, little kick inside. Turner, opportunity, and this will be a score for Billings. Just a minor score.
All Australian ruck though, BT. It's a bit. Would you have? There's Gawn, there's Charity. Who would you have?
Disappointed with that, Jack Billings.
Well, I think you're right with Max Gawn, aren't you?
Well, I think he's making... Cherry was really good at the start of the year, really good the last 5-6 weeks. I thought there was a patch in the middle where it was flat. But everyone sort of has different opinions when it comes to that.
McRae. To the back heel. Handball wasn't quite there for Lipinski. He will go back and find it at ground level. McVie with him. And it's going to be Tomlinson. His handball wasn't great. Allowing Bobby back in. And McDonald, legs line.
BT, when you did roaming last week and you went and saw the umpires and they had the vote card there, they don't look at stats, do they? No, they don't look at stats. So that you confirm that on that night? I didn't confirm it on that night, but I know
not to ask them about that. Okay. And I know that is something that they don't do, Richard. They don't have a look at the stats in deciding the Brownlow votes, which I reckon's a little harsh. I reckon they should have access to that.
At most stadiums, the stats are up on the big screen. So
there's Pickett. Quainer. He ran out of legs. Keziah Pickett. Now Isaac Quainer to polish it up. That'll be deliberate. Razor. With the final rotation of that P, perhaps.
Evolution of the Collingwood fans. They're set through rain and lightning and a half-hour break, and they're still roaring.
Cozzy Pickett. Just getting some feedback there, Cozzy. He is indeed. He's going for the right foot. Nah. To bend. Didn't bend enough. Tripped over. He did.
that's the second one Quainer's been paid for, which I think he's been a little bit harsh. Slippery ball. Both of them were razor as well.
So seconds ticking down as Noble. That's the handball. Side bottom's going to be gobbled up.
Second tackle. Straight back. Just 2 metres. Steal.
Neil Bullen.
Stand. Play on.
Goes in the Petty direction. He's taken under the ball and will get a ball in.
They do that well, the players. Use their chest to take them under the footy and keep the hands out of it.
Rucks, please. Thank you, Harrison. Harrison and Darcy.
Razor with some final instructions there. Cameron. Quainer just got rid of it. Little handball from Allen. The two Dacos boys wax it up. That's possession number 40 for Josh Dacos. Nick's on 39. What about this? They go inside 50. Bobby Hill. 45 seconds. Thought about giving it on to Hoskin Elliott. So, in fact, both Dacoses now clicking over 40 touches each. So the three votes are still happy just to go the one way to Nick.
Well, the 2 goals. 40 and 2. For Nick, I'm going Nick. 2 for Josh and 1 for Lipinski. That'll be the 3-2-1 BT. Mark it down.
Bobby Hill for his 3rd goal. 45, hasn't got the journey, I don't think. Has not. Play will go on. Collingwood battle in their forward half and will have a throw in.
And it will be the last play of the season. Great career, Ray Chamberlain. Well done. Nick Dacos, 11 score involvements, 2 goals, 40 possessions. Hard to see him not ending up with 3 votes, but the season's done for Collingwood and Melbourne. Disappointed. The Maggies have actually finished in fine style in this season, but they're not seeing September action. Melbourne have known that for a while, so for them, in a lot of ways, the finish line couldn't come quick enough. Alex Neil-Bullen's been a star for the Demons. He's going back to his hometown of Adelaide. He'll find a home there and play a lot more AFL footy. Jack Viney's re-signed, so he's going nowhere. This is good. Veteran players getting over Ray Chamberlain and appreciating what's been a really good career. Abby, down to you.
Nick and Josh Dacos.
Fly's always been pretty big on being winners the whole way through. So regardless of if we can play finals or not, we want to finish the season in good form, and I think we're able to do that.
Josh, something like a little bit of drama to send off season 2024. A 37-minute halting play. How did you best utilise that time?
It was our first time. It was quite bizarre, but huge shout out to the Magpie Army for hanging around. They were unbelievable, and it's what they do every week, so amazing.
We're going to make our way over here just to pay tribute to an incredible career with Rays of Ray, but Nick, you guys had 40 disposals each, 80 disposals combined. It's just out of control, but you must love playing with your brother.
No, absolutely. Very grateful to play with him week in, week out. It's super special and something, I'm very grateful for.
And Josh, we're on Brownlow watch here tonight. Do you think your brother is in for a red-hot crack come that Monday night grand final week?
He's definitely had a really good year. I'm sure he'll be up there. It's definitely not something that he worries about, but he's had a really consistent season. I couldn't be more proud of him.
Thanks, guys. Go and enjoy this. Good play.
Season 2024 is over for Collingwood and Melbourne. The Magpies have gone out in fine style, winning the game by 46 points. Never really looked troubled at all. Nick Dacos ended up with 40 points, so the storyline around his Brownlow medal is very much up for grabs, I would imagine. And Ray Chamberlain there, great seeing his Brownie as he wandered off, and both sides lined up for him and paid a tribute.
Great respect, great umpire. It's a shame, really. One of the arguments to get rid of the bounce because you lose umpires like Ray Chamberlain.
All right, I'll come back to them in a moment. The commentators, let's just have a little bit of a look at the wrap up here. Thanks everyone for coming in. Where do they move to on the live ladder? This is the live ladder that hasn't updated just yet. It was live before. It might take a moment or two to load. Let's go and have a look at the disposal count, see who was the leading, and then we'll come back and hopefully that live ladder will move up and we'll see the percentage difference between Collingwood and the three teams that sit on the same points, 52 points, but only percentage is the difference. I see. Thanks, Icy, for hanging in there. Hopefully you're going all right. Collingwood just missed out on the top 8. They won't make the final. Yeah, by percentage it looks like, but we'll have a look at the live ladder in a moment. It hasn't quite updated since the game finished. But of course, there we have we got the Brownlow votes? 1, 2, 3 there. Nick Dacos there. 40 disposals, 25 kicks, 15 handballs, 11 marks, a tackle, 9 clearances. Got to go and eat dinner. Have a nice drink. Thanks, Icy. We'll catch you later. Might see you tomorrow or tonight, wherever we are around YT. Thanks, Icy. Enjoy dinner. So he had an absolute cracker of a game, did Nick Dacos, and he's slotted through 2 goals, 1. His brother Josh, 40 disposals. The brothers both with 40 apiece. Fantastic. 21 kicks, 19 handballs, 10 marks, 1 tackle, 3 clearances. Did the job there. Just the one behind for him. But he's a bit of a playmaker. Lipinski with 30, a great game from him. He did well, didn't he? I'll tell you what, 12 marks. They all had a lot of marks, the boys, the top 3. Christian Salim was the best for Melbourne on 26. 20 kicks, 6 handballs, 6 marks, 3 tackles, 2 clearances. Scotty Pendlebury next best on 23, side bottom 22. Maxi Gawn lifted 21. He had a good game, the big man, 25 hit-outs, good stuff. Let's just roll through this a little bit. Through the stats, we'll have a quick look at the goal scorers, the fantasy points, and then the team stats. And then if there's any time left, or if I've still got battery on my phone, I think I've got about 10% left. We can go back to the commentators just for their little bit of a wrap up. But there are the stats for your players. Let me just take it over to the goal scorers. Let me just zoom this back up quickly. There's the goal scorers. What's that? Colton Thorpe and Pickett best for Melbourne with 2 each. Lipinski, Bobby Hill, Nick Dacos, Darcy Cameron, all 2 for the Magpies. Let's just roll this back up. See, and there was quite a few with singles. Van Ruin, Turner, side bottom, Richards, Will Parker, Hoskin Elliott, Jamie Elliott, Jack Crisp, Chandler, Billings, and Edward Allen were the single goal scorers there. So look at the AFL fantasy points. Nick Dacos, 157, polling really well in that. Yeah, if they get down to the room, we'll definitely put that song on. 157, Lipinski 139, Josh Dacos 137, Gawn 108, Salim 103, and the rest under 100. I'll just quickly roll through the disposals while we're waiting.
Tonight,
for the theme song, the boys are just walking down back into the rooms, so we shouldn't be too far away for the song. Pies by about 100 in disposals, about 40 in kicks and 60 in handballs, dominated everywhere. Inside 50s, Melbourne levelled it out a little bit, 43 to 55. Pies did very well there, 55 above the average. Disposal efficiency wasn't too bad for both teams, above 70. Inside 50, below a little bit Melbourne. Collingwood well and truly above their season average there. Free kicks, 11 to 17, rounded out pretty even. Not too badly there. The hit-outs, Melbourne won that by 2. The clearances, the Magpies by 4. Centre clearances, Pies by 3. We're just about ready for the song of the Collingwood Magpies. We'll take you down there. All right, folks. Let me just roll through that, and then we'll take you down. All right, let's not miss it. Let's go down to the rooms and hear the Collingwood thong.
Happen to have the best young player, maybe the best player in the competition. Yeah. Might tip it in their favour. Six-point winners tonight, the Magpies, on a night that has 16.
All right, let's have a look at the updated ladder. The ladder has now updated, Harvey. Here it is now. Of course, this is what we were talking about. Collingwood now move up in the 9th position on 52 points, the same as Carlton, Hawthorn and the Western Bulldogs. It is just their percentage, if you can see their percentage there. Their percentage rose by 2.4% tonight. Still 7.2% behind Carlton. And there we go, 9% behind Hawthorn. So I think that margin is going to be a little bit too hard to come by. So even if Hawthorn, Carlton, Western Bulldogs lose tomorrow, they would have to lose by probably 20 goals, 20 to 25 goals or 30 goals to even come close. So that is pretty much a season over, I think, for the Magpies, who ended on a good victory here tonight over Melbourne. But I think, as Paul said earlier on, I think that loss to Sydney, I think that really hurt when they were in control of that game and Sydney came home like steam trains and ran them over in the last quarter. That being said, even if they had won that game, the ladder is updated now. That is the live ladder. That is updated. That certainly is updated now. There it is. So there is the Magpies there. 52 points. Same as Carlton, Hawthorn, Western Bulldogs. All percentage. The percentages are the difference on where they're sitting on the ladder. So, ciao for now, Paul. Thanks, brother. We might see you tomorrow. I'll probably do 3 games tomorrow. We'll see how they go. Tomorrow. There'll be the Hawthorn game there tomorrow. Hawthorn and North Melbourne. Probably do that. Probably should see an easy Hawthorn victory there. Then there's a game that I'll do. I didn't want to do, but it's a game that I'll do because it coincides with the time frame, which will be Richmond and the Gold Coast. And of course, Sydney and Adelaide will be the third one for tomorrow. And of course, on Sunday, we'll have absolute ripper games. We've got Western Bulldogs v GWS Giants, and then straight after that will be Carlton and St Kilda, and then straight after that will be Freo Port Adelaide. What a fantastic final day of football to wrap up the 2024 home and away season before we head into the finals. And I think the ladder will chop and change. I think Fremantle has to win. Fremantle has to win if one of these teams get beaten. So Fremantle will definitely be barracking for one of these 3 sides to get beat. That's the only way they can get in. as if the Dogs, Hawks or Carlton lose and Fremantle win. But that'll be a ripper game if they have a chance to make the finals. Fremantle, as I said, I think Hawthorn will definitely beat North Melbourne. I think Hawthorn are pretty much the informed side of the competition at the moment. I think the other one is going to be a cracking game. We've got GWS Giants sitting in third. They play the Western Bulldogs, so that's going to be an incredible game. And then, of course, the last one, Freo and Port. There we go, folks. That's about all I've got for tonight. Brisbane win tomorrow. You'd think so. You'd think Brisbane should win. I would think Brisbane will win and win comfortably. They should, I would think. I think Brisbane are a good chance in the finals. And they play the ground well. I think they're playing that game that's a home game. They're playing that at home, so you'd think Brisbane will win that one. So that'll be all right. All right, folks. I'm gonna just stop talking now because that's it. That is the end. Well done, Pies. Go Pies. They did well. Looking forward to 2025 season for the Magpies when they come out again. I expect them to go good with, a playing list that's going to be a lot more healthy than what it was throughout the year. All right, folks, I'll leave the scoreboard up for a couple of minutes because I've only got about 10% left on my battery life before the phone dies and the live shuts off. So I'll probably leave this up for 5 minutes, and just in case any latecomers come in and want to check out the scores. Who won tonight at the MCG between Melbourne and Collingwood? And of course, it was the mighty Magpies, 15-13, 103, 46-point winners over Melbourne, 8-9, 57. So it wasn't too bad after that. It was about a 65-minute final quarter with the lightning delay. Magpies putting on 3 goals, 5 in that final quarter to the Demons, 1 goal for Tino Bim Bim. Thanks for hanging in there. I'll end this in about 4 minutes. As I said, I'll just leave the scoreboard up for the folks to come in and check the scores, and then I'll end, folks. I'll just take you back down to the commentators instead of just putting it on silence. I'll take you down to the commentators, and I'll end in about 3 to 4 minutes. So thanks everyone for coming in. And just before I stopped talking, we had the poll in tonight, who was going to win tonight's game. And of course, we had 80 votes coming in. 76% went for the Magpies, 23% went for Melbourne, and 1% went for, it's just never there. It's always never there, that 1%. But there we go. That's the poll. Thanks, manager, for hanging in there all that time. Appreciate it. I hope you're doing well there. And I'll just take you back to the commentators. I think they're talking a still side bottom there just for a moment until I end. And I'll cut this off in about 3 minutes. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. We'll see you tomorrow.
All ends well for Nick, and in a few weeks' time, maybe he might have a medal around his neck.
Still, we see that Pendles and Howie have apparently signed on for next year. Are you definitely locked in and ready to go?
I am. I'm locked in, ready to go.
Breaking news. Has that been announced still? Are you breaking that for us here on Friday Night Footy?
No, you're the first person I've told me wife.
Nice little exclusive there, Jordan. Way to go.
You ask the right questions, you get the answer.
Mitch Cleary out.
You didn't really answer the question about the run widths. Do you? Obviously it gives you a chance with a good player to be taken to the ball and be in a lot of contests. Have you enjoyed the last month doing that?
Yeah, I really have. I've sort of missed that in close, crash and bash stuff out on the wing, and at times you can feel like you're out of the game, running that fat side, up and down all day. But I guess following the players that I have, as you said, they'll take me to the footy, and I haven't really need to run off too hard because the good players will take me there, and I've been lucky to get on the end of it, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and who knows, it might be a bit of a role going forward. And yeah, it's been enjoyable.
Steele, what can you tell us about Ed Allen? We watched his game tonight. He looks like he's made of the right stuff, got some really good attributes. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, well, Ed sort of played probably the first.
Set up iMessage yet.
That's the iPad go off.
All good.
Geordie's wife says she's got to come home. We're on a bit late. She's wondering where he is.
Ed probably played the first half of this year on the wing, and the last half of the season in the VFL he's been playing midfield and really playing above the level. And he's a good size and he's got a great step, and he'll take a lot of confidence out of tonight going forward, and hopefully he's someone that will be keeping me out of the side next year.
What's the off-season look like for you, mate? Get about 3 or 4 months off?
We've been renovating our house, so hopefully move into that in the next couple of months. Won't head away anywhere. Obviously got a young family, and the wife will be going back to work soon to play for the Reno, so not a lot going on.
Bit of cricket down at Tallygaroopna, that's on the agenda?
Yeah, I actually wouldn't mind going back and playing maybe C's or something and having a bit of a hit, but last time I went back I got run out for a duck, so it's been a while to go back.
Now put your feet up and enjoy the off-season. You've earned it, and fantastic news that you're going around again next year. Congratulations.
Cheers, thanks guys. Good on you.
Robbie.
There you go. Still Sidebottom, breaking news. And
well, he just put the pressure on the club, didn't he? He hasn't signed.
Ralphie's got the brace of bits out there.
No, he's not happy.
Melbourne, let's talk them for a moment. This is the most disappointing thing for me. So you're coming into a game and you know the circumstances. That's their lowest pressure game for the year. So what's that telling you when you want to go? You know, we spoke to Simon Gooden pre-game. He said, no, we pride ourselves on turning up and performing, and then they tried out their lowest pressure game for the year.
It's disappointing for me after watching their game last year. Yeah. They made great improvements, in all parts of their game. They cleaned up a really good Gold Coast midfield team on their home deck. They've been tough to beat up there, and tonight their pressure they just didn't bring the effort tonight.
And that's the all too familiar dilemma that's been their issue for a long time. So their ability to kick scores, their ability to score from turnover obviously was poor tonight, and it's the front half stuff and connection which has been an issue.
Well, there's a real question about Melbourne, but I actually asked you, what were Gold Coast doing last week? If they allowed this Melbourne side to go and do that to them at their home deck, but yeah, Melbourne. Yeah, I mean, you go into last rounds and it's fascinating what you would take from it. I think you got to break it down individually. Like, what did you get from your young players? Did they show a little bit for you? You give a few players that were probably second and third choice players an opportunity, and they show you whether they're ready to go or not for the following year. There's a bit of list management that happens out of those last 4 quarters.
I think it's the challenge between their best and their worst. And that's the challenge with all those sides, I think, that sit below that mark where you play finals. It's too great. It's too inconsistent and too unreliable. And that's why all those sides, and Collingwood included, they were good tonight, but quite often throughout the year they've been unreliable. And that's where they sit.
Ball use is going to be a big topic.
You can't predict anything. When your ball use is out of whack and you can't actually hit a handball or a kick, how can the next players predict what's going on?
Well, you mentioned it. In such an open game, you need to be able to chain handballs and kicks together. And Melbourne have relied so much on a congested game of football where it goes from